All right, I've gotten everything in. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to think about things for just a second. All righty. Look at my list again. Okay, so night zero is over. Day one has begun. Everyone wake up, please, so I can tell everyone who died. Get in here. Everyone get in here. Perfect. How are you guys doing today?
It's a lovely morning.
Doing great. All right, I can tell you 2 people didn't do so hot. That's one problem. Fortunately, everyone was kind of in a town square. There's sort of a meeting going on. When our dear friend Matthew went up to the stage to announce he had some information for everyone. He thinks that there might be some assassins in the village. Unctious quickly walked up there and confirmed it. He was like, listen, guys, this guy's telling the truth. And then suddenly, boom, piano falls out of the sky, out of nowhere.
It was a lovely morning.
Both dead instantly. Unctious and Matthew were crushed by a piano. I mean, there wasn't even a building up there. Who knows? Let day one begin.
Okay, I'd never kill Matthew.
I feel like with an elaborate that we might be dealing with a Wile E. Coyote type mafia.
So basically, you, right?
What's
Right.
that?
Right.
Yeah, like a Wile E. Coyote
so we
trying
can
to
see
drop
the bottom of your
pianos on
face.
people. You know, like probably has like big anvils that are gonna fall on people. I mean, luckily you guys have a Roadrunner town, but other than that, you know, that's about.
Ryan, can you tilt your camera down so we can see all of your face? You too, Joey.
Well, my camera, it's here. So.
Is this better for you, David, that you can see all my face?
Yeah, I have a tell on your chin, and when it's not there, like.
How's it looking now?
guys.
Look at this.
As much as I'd love to talk about Wile E. Coyote Mafia, if possible, can we get this discussion a little more productive? I have some policy. I haven't played Video Mafia with any of you guys, but and I don't know how the system works too much. But I'd like to propose some policy, maybe to get discussion rolling, maybe to create some pro-town atmosphere on day one. So if you guys can hear me out for the next few minutes. So basically, on Forum Mafia, how town gets a lot of information and how catches Mafia is a lot through vote counting and basically information garnered from votes and whatnot. And I think the best way to do this in Video Mafia, or at least to ensure that we get a lot of information out of the vote counts, is to, before people formal, or before, you know, I guess you formal and then everybody just votes, but before you hammer, before we have everyone state their reasoning for voting someone or stating reasoning for not voting someone. And I haven't seen that in past Video Mafia games, but I think it'd be pretty helpful information-wise.
So that's one way of thinking of things, but
Okay.
we usually don't like to pre-vote, because if you pre-vote, you can, as Mafia, you can kind of get a sense of which way the wind is going to blow, and then you can kind of hide within that. So, I mean, yes, it's, if you really believe in somebody one way or the other, it's great to speak up, but at the same time, you want to be able to not let the Mafia know exactly how votes are going to be playing out.
See,
Furthermore,
so,
the fifth
like-
person to defend somebody doesn't have a whole lot left to say.
Okay.
So,
So
like,
I
going
would
through
say-
everybody's
Let him
novel.
continue.
That's true.
Let him
I
continue.
will say counter proposal that we look at people, make reads off, and then pressure those people.
I don't know about that,
Yeah,
Andy.
no, let Hopper
Look scummy,
finish.
then we can
Hopper
choose to
let him
lynch
finish.
them.
Let him finish.
You're a wild man.
Well, I will say.
So that being said, I would like to just toss it over to Eric for just a quick second. See what he's got to say.
Cool, back to Hopper.
All right.
I'm enjoying. I really want to hear more.
Yes, me too. Andy, please.
I just want to see Phil's
And I
face.
just want to say the chat is on their A game tonight. You're really cracking me up. So, all right.
I actually had a couple of questions. Who in here regards Unctious and Matt as the best players in this game?
Nobody.
It's me, guys. It's me.
Maybe they tried to kill me.
I think I just got
Maybe they tried to kill me, but something got confused, and then it killed Unctious instead.
I could see that being a Daily Mafia person-led kill. Machu, I think, is seen as one of the higher-rated Daily Mafia players, and Unctious is one of the people from Esports Mafia that usually plays with Daily Mafia. So I think
So, Ryan, who would that implicate?
Yeah.
anybody that so the people that are from Daily Mafia are Pope, Brian, Boone, Joey, David, High and Mighty, Captain.
So the first thing I noticed is when they were reading off who died overnight, it looked like Pope was trying really hard to have no reaction at all.
No, I've been smiling this whole game. I've been watching Eric smiling this whole game too. That's what's making me smile.
I'm gonna say.
But you weren't smiling though. You look like stoic when that was happening.
So I think there's actually something interesting that can be gleaned from the night kills in that they chose to kill two like roughly similar players. In that Unctious and Machu both can defend really well, and they're both can be very aggressive. So I think that them choosing those two kills, like it wasn't a coincidence that they were that kind of player that was killed.
I don't really agree, Andy. I think that Machu and Unctious are very different players.
I actually have a question for Ryan too. So Ryan, do you honestly believe that the kills point towards a specific player? Like, do you think it really points towards a Daily Mafia player?
I think that there was a strong influence of Daily Mafia in those kills.
Like, real quick, sorry. So Mike, Happa, in case you don't know, we're kind of like two groups merging, right? Like, and you guys are just like excess thrown in.
That's a good way to put it.
So like when we refer to it, like I try not to keep it vague, right? Like, because you don't know like the Daily Mafia group, right? You don't know like the sports group. So basically, Ryan's saying that like the two kills that happened are leaning towards a specific group, saying that we like, and I disagree with that completely. And I think that whole thing was just kind of a load of crap. I don't think killing Machu was a Daily Mafia thing. Like, there's people I would kill over Machu definitely, and Unctious isn't, like the best player in my eyes either. I think they were safe medic dodges, and that's about it.
So who's the kind of player who would try to make medic dodges?
Pope, you said you did.
Pope would.
Yeah,
Pope,
I would.
You didn't like Ryan's reasoning. What about what Andy said?
I wasn't really listening to Andy because I was too focused on what Ryan said, to be honest. I wanted to talk to Ryan before what Andy said.
So I hear you disagreeing with me. Do you have a question for me?
No, I'm just saying that I'm pointing out that like what you said, it doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Well, think about it from my perspective. So I've played with Daily Mafia only a handful of times, and from a person who doesn't understand that, Machu's a very high-profile player, and I know that Unctious goes over there a lot. So from my point of view, it makes a lot of sense. Now, you're an insider. I mean, you own Daily Mafia, so you'll see things a different way. But from my perspective, it makes a lot of sense.
I'm inclined to agree with Ryan here, in the sense that Machu's been playing on TL a little bit, and he's not someone that, for me, at least if I was Mafia, would strike to kill night one. He's not someone on TL who has that kind of reputation. And I mean, if like the only really sense it would make, Unctious and Machu are both Daily Mafia players, correct?
So Machu specifically plays with us, and Unctious kind of floats.
Okay, so while we're on the subject of night kills, I think there's one important thing that Machu and Unctious both can do, and that is when they feel like it and they feel strongly about something, they can really lead the discussion and lead it down. So instead of looking at a certain group of people killing them, I would look at a certain type of player, namely players who like to, take down in their own hands when they're Mafia and lead down in a way they want without having to rely on some kind of
Phil?
Some kind of downy.
Who is that? So that's like Ryan, Andy, Pope, or something.
Well, there are a few players in here who can.
Brian.
Who can take it down in their own direction. At times David, Sorcerer, Brian, even Brian at times, and Joey can all do that.
Let's just name off a bunch of people. That doesn't really.
Can we get to the game here? Like, this is silliness. Jesus Christ! Like, I don't want to talk about deaths anymore.
So
can I give out, guys? Can I give out my quick reads?
Like to say
wow, you suck,
Watch out,
Andy.
guys.
Instead of talking about deaths, I would like to say something about kills.
I speak first.
I would consider. I'll just say two names and then you can talk, Brian. How about that? Happa and Eric. That's all I'm going to say for right now. Go ahead.
I love your first one.
Yeah, me too, man.
I was like, Happa was my strongest scum read by far.
Okay. If I may ask why.
Goodness, this is wonderful. Can we
like
just
the way you start off,
now?
like,
You're trying too hard to project town.
Exactly.
And
it was super, like, I can understand.
We can go off with that in a minute.
I'm sorry, can one person talk?
Yeah, let Andy go. He's cool.
Okay, so I was just saying that you're trying so hard to project town that it's like it looks scummy. So that was really like that. We can address that like in a minute.
Can we just do it as a formal?
Well,
I did say Brian.
Okay. Can I speak up? So that sounds like a really strange tell to me, because number one, at least I think Phil can vouch for me in here, in the sense that I'm a really, really try-hard townie. I'm going to do stuff like that early in the game, no matter what. Like my priority as a town, every single town game I play is to start discussion, no matter what, and no matter how I come across.
Yeah, but why would you do that?
Are you going to do that as Mafia as well, though?
Yeah, that's exactly
right.
Am I going to?
Were you planning on doing it regardless?
Can you lower your camera just a little bit? Sorry. You're not on camera.
Kappa, like going before the game started, were you planning on doing that regardless of what your alignment was gonna be?
I was planning on proposing some kind of policy or thinking about policy in general. I'm not sure if I was going to do it as Mafia because I really didn't think about it. But it's something I had on my mind, like, how do I what's the best way to play this game? And I'm
it sounded like did you practice the speech itself? Because it sounded a little bit rehearsed to me.
I'm wondering
really.
I'm just kind of wondering why you would do that in a game where you're new to the format like I am. Like, I have no desire to tell people how they should play because I'm new here.
Why not? I mean, should I come in and act helpless? That's the most stupid possible thing I can do.
That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying I shouldn't come in and like propose a new policy to change how they've been playing over time because they're probably more experienced at this than I am. I know they are than you because you said you hadn't played it.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, just because I'm inexperienced doesn't mean I'm necessarily wrong about something, or necessarily doesn't mean we can have a decent discussion about it.
Okay, you're right. Discussion is good.
Fair.
But what I'm wondering is why you didn't keep more insistent on pushing the discussion. And I definitely called on you several times. I know you're interrupted to continue your thought, because you definitely had a thought to continue. It's probably too late now, and you've probably forgotten. But I mean, I really wanted to hear more then, and I have to agree. It did feel weird.
Okay, so I'll say two reasons why I stopped talking. And number one was I was interrupted, but that's that. Okay, so and number two is that people were starting to talk, and it is about night kills.
Okay,
and it's not.
I don't care that you stopped talking for whatever reason. I'm more interested on what you were going to continue talking about.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to. So MLG Ryan made a point that he didn't like it because Mafia could bandwagon off-town sentiment. And in my opinion, or at least in a forum setting, that really, really doesn't matter. In a sense, like you can still get information even off bandwagoners, because the way someone will bandwagon off a vote can be Mafia motivated. The way someone can bandwagon off a sentiment can be town motivated.
So let me address that. So usually you get the most information off of a vote that is split, and then you can kind of look at how the two camps voted. And if you have a bunch of people talking about which way they're going to vote, then it's likely that it will lean one way or the other. And the split vote can't really happen if you have too much discussion about how exactly you're going to be voting.
Well, I mean, I think
we don't have enough time to write down paragraphs.
I interrupted Brian, and this became a whole tangent. So I really would like to pass to Brian because I kind of cut him off.
The problem I have with what you did early on, Ryan, is circles formed during the game based on the actions of other players. But what you did initially as the game started, you drew a line in the sand, and it felt like you were trying to push an agenda in one direction. It felt like you were trying to take control of the game by trying to draw a line between the daily Mafia players. And it wasn't a good thing in my opinion. I felt I don't know what your motivation was for it. I don't like it. So I agree with Pope. I'm just liking you for different reasons. Sportser, I felt has been very, very held back this game. I mean, he's chimed in here and there, and he suggested going ahead and formaling, but he hasn't really tried to make an effort to do it himself.
You're talking about me?
He did.
Me?
No. Storzerg said, "Let's go ahead and formal." Is what he said, and he didn't really.
I did try to formal.
Yeah, you did. No one seconded.
I did try to formal, and I said, "Why don't we just formal?"
I didn't hear that at all. That was going on. So
wait, Kim Boone, just right before, can I just ask Ryuzilla real quick what he thought about like how he opened up the game?
So can I finish talking?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know you were done. I didn't know you weren't done. Sorry.
I wasn't done yet. I don't like Captain either because all he did was give out general knowledge. He didn't really give out a read on anybody in the game. Yep. So right now, I'd want to list Captain or Ryan. Those are my two. And Storzerg would be a tentative third.
I actually am going to completely disagree with Brian. Storzerg and Captain are my two strongest town reads right now. Storzerg seems
for me.
Storzerg seems like he's excited to be in a new setting with Mafia, and he's got the like old spark that Storzerg has, and the way that Captain read seems like a new insight of how people are saying. Now, I think my insight to the kills were very surface, and I feel like the way that Captain read into them were really good. So I completely disagree with you, Brian.
So I think of all the people during the conference, I've been kind of in the middle of things right now, and of all the people who talked to me over the past 5 minutes, I think the one person that stands out to me as scummy is Mike. And that's because when he chimed, so Storzerg, for example, was trying to really question my logic, question exactly, why I was making certain things, and seemed to have a coherent thought process behind why he'd read me as scum. However, when Mike chimed in, it was for a very, very irrelevant comment. And it was basically, why are you trying to tell people who don't know how to play have played the game more than you, how to play the game? And what's interesting to me about that is it's not a scum tell. It's just a very, very weird observation to have. You just feel very, very detached from any reason that someone would read me as scum.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a real question? Yeah, just like I just have a question. Hapa, do you play with Mike? Like on forum games? Do you guys have history together? Okay.
No.
I just didn't know if you knew each other outside of
I wanna echo Hapa here a little bit. I found there was a series of word choices that Mike gave that I thought was weird. He said everyone else here is probably more experienced than me, and I know they're more experienced than you because of what you said. I found that the probably when referring to himself was like super strange when followed up by the hard.
He said it a different way.
It sounded something similar, but I mean, honestly,
the weirdest thing to pick out, David.
I don't understand. It was so strange. Like he knows it about Hapa, but it's only probably about himself. That's just so strange to me.
Listen, guys, the word choice really doesn't matter here. The thing is what he said, and how it's just what he said is not a basis for reading me as scum.
So I disagree with that.
It's a basis for criticizing me.
I disagree with that completely.
Hey, Phil, you got anything, huh? Or are you just gonna smile?
No, hold on. I'm gonna just smile. I'm defending myself here. It is a scum read, and there's a reason for that. If you come to a new game and you put on an act about having information that people in the game don't have because they wouldn't have thought of it yet, even though those people have played this game like 10, 20, 30 times or something, you're putting on a show to say, I thought about this really hard before the game started. Check out this cool thing I want to tell you guys about how you should be playing. I'm totally town. It's a performance. It's a performance to make everyone think you've thought really hard about how to be a good townie. But you're new, and I'm brand new, and I'm telling you, I have no desire to do that yet, because I'm trying to get a feel for how everybody plays. And for example, I think it was Andy said you were putting on an act when you did that. You had the same response I'm having, which is that I don't believe that's something you plan on doing if you were actually a town, because there's no reason a new town would do that. I think
this is not new information.
Okay.
I really want to hear from Phil and from Boone and from Eric because we have.
We actually need to be pushing lynches right now. I want
Boone to tell me who's Mafia, and I will know by her response.
No, Store, Boone, and Eric.
We have a hard cap of 30 minutes.
No, Store.
Wow, we have plenty of time.
I want to hear people before we start lynching. So Boone, Eric, and then Phil.
Okay.
Hey guys, can we just have the people who haven't talked yet talk? So Boone, then Phil.
What's going on here?
Alrighty.
Just wondering, we have 15 minutes remaining.
Cool.
Thank you. So I think a couple of really interesting things have happened. I originally actually, and this is actually going to sound super sheepy because I tried talking. I had my hand up before, but I
saw that.
Yeah, I'm going to say that Brian is pretty darn talented to me, and I'm going to explain why after. Originally, I had Hapa because of the whole original outcoming with how we should play the game was a little more scummy to me, but he has projected town. Like every time you guys have questioned him, I think that he's very town. I think that people are going to jump all over it because of he's new to this, and I think that we need to take that into consideration. You have to look at how he's played afterward. I think he's been pretty town. The original part was pretty scummy, but I think he's projected town so far. Just in the way that he's spoken, he wasn't taking his time to think about what he was going to say, and that's typically, I think, how a Mafia would respond because they want to watch what they're saying. I also actually think that Mike is town just based on his reaction as well. Brian pinged out Storzerg and he pinged out Captain. I was going to ping out Captain because Captain's like main thing that he does is he comes out with like all 5 Mafia or all 4 Mafia or however many he wants to call out in the first minute of the game based on body reads, and he hasn't done that, and so I would really like to hear him do that. And then Storzerg's just playing a little differently.
Top town, Boone. Top town.
Top town's gonna be Brian.
No, you're my top town.
Oh.
Boone, can you describe how Storzerg's playing differently than normal?
Yeah. So Storzerg's a little bit more like, and I don't know if this is town indicative or Mafia, but he's a little bit more aggro and not as fun-loving as I'm typically used to when it comes to Storzerg. He's not as smiley and he's not as, yeah, well, there's the smile, but when he was responding to people, he was very like straightforward, to the point, and blunt, and I'm just not used to that from him. So.
Ask Eric.
Can I talk?
Used to that
Yeah.
from
I need to talk. I need to talk before you guys fuck this up. All right. So, Boone, I like you, but I think you're completely wrong here. I have Storzerg as a very good town right now, and I don't know how the hell you have Brian as your top town. I didn't get that at all. The only thing we've heard.
Because of my reads.
Well,
That's why I'm saying.
Okay, so it's a body language read on a guy that doesn't move. So, okay. So.
No, it's based
No,
on
that's a content read. I feel it's the exact
not
same
his
way.
body. It's based on his reads on what he said about Captain, because I feel the same way.
Okay, well, I'm going off of what he said about Ryuzilla, and the entire opening that he made about Ryuzilla was, it sounded like he was trying to divide groups to make a lynch. Well, fuck yeah. I mean, that's the point of this, isn't it? Like, we're trying to figure out who the hell we're going to shrink the group down to make a good lynch from it, a high percentage lynch, right? That's the entire point of this. It seemed to me like it was coming from somebody who was upset maybe because he was a part of the kills. Like, that's just how it sounded to me. The other person that I have as a talent is Hapa. This has nothing to do with the rest of the people coming to his defense, but I felt like, although it was kind of canned, it was a pretty sincere speech. There was no stumbles. He didn't seem nervous at all. I don't see how anybody could think that he's Mafia right now just based on what he said this round.
Weren't you one jumping on him when Storzerg and Andy were going on him?
What?
You said that he did something suspicious.
I did not say that. Not one time. Nope.
I think Storzerg and Mike were the two people who were really going after him. Maybe David a little.
I
No,
did
not
not say
David.
one thing about him.
Okay, maybe it was Mike then. Sorry.
And the other person that I have a slight town read on is High and Mighty, just based on his delivery. It's really, really not that much. I would lynch the fuck out of him tomorrow.
No, you.
So,
Hey,
maybe.
Why
just
tomorrow?
over 10 minutes. We need to be lynching.
So
Okay.
Hope was
I
gonna
can
say
say,
something.
I can say I would want to lynch. So my initial reads, well, I won't give my initial town reads, but my initial mafia reads were Brian and Boone. And after she talked, I don't think I would lynch Boone today, because a few of the things she said actually are the type of reasoning I think she has when she's down, especially the read on Mike. Calling him out as down, I think, was a really important thing. I've been waiting to actually do that as well. I think that with Brian, I'm pretty sure Brian is Mafia here, especially when Eric pointed out that the point he made about Brian, I thought was a really arbitrary reason to call someone scummy. And the second person I think is Mafia is David, and I'm starting to feel more and more sure as the day goes on. That
Really?
he's
Can you
Mafia.
explain that? Because I have David as my town.
you have David.
Because if he's Mafia, I felt like he would have spoken up and tried to direct town, but he hasn't been doing anything.
Do you want me to
Taking
explain, or
obsessive
do you
notes.
just want to discuss?
No, sorry, Eric just
I
asked.
want you to really explain if you really want to push
so-
David for a lynch.
Why
I want
I
to focus
think-
on lynching somebody right now. And
Okay, so why I
unless
think
you're
David is
gonna formal him-
Mafia is because what David does when he's Mafia, I feel on day one, he kind of sits back and sees what type of play he can set up, and at the same time he kind of jumps on, but not ties himself to, but he jumps on reads someone's making, and he did that, for instance, when someone called out Happa's Mafia. He was like, yeah, I agree with that, but not really backed it up or not really pushed him anymore. It was just let's see if you can mislead. Let's try that. And if it doesn't, well, I haven't typed himself too strong into it.
And then he did the same thing with Mike.
I think it's David's Mafia play today.
Are you
He
gonna
did the
formal
same
David?
thing with Mike. He did the same thing with Mike. Happa said something about Mike, and he jumped on and pushed on it, and
Hey.
that's another thing as well.
Brian, you
Are
still
you
think
gonna
Captain's
formal somebody?
Mafia?
Yes, I do.
He's projecting towny as fuck to me.
I don't want to formal David yet.
Okay, I would like to formal somebody. I want to formal Phil. Can I get a second?
I second.
We have a
Thank you.
formal
Okay, Phil.
on Phil, so
Okay.
let's begin.
Here's my accusation, Phil. You really haven't done anything all game. You've chimed in once or twice with a small snippet of comment, but no real substance of anything. There's a point where Hoppa made reference to you that you could vouch for something, and you didn't vouch. You didn't comment on that at all. And yeah,
Yeah, I just want to
I
add
want
on
you to
to that.
explain
I don't
yourself.
know.
You haven't really done anything. I'd be fine with lynching you.
I just want to add on to that. I don't know. Like, I was reading you kind of scummy. I don't know why. It was just kind of a gut read. And then when Eric was kind of speaking up, like, the only thing you said today was kind of like trying to jump down his throat, which I felt was a bit weird. Go for it.
Okay, so the people I want to lynch in order of lynching is Andy, Pope, and then probably one of Mike or Captain. I think everyone else is town. I don't know what Ryan is. He's the only mystery to me. I did like what Ryan had to say about Storzerg and Captain earlier. That mimicked my reads earlier. I did think Captain was town at the beginning of the day, but since then, I'm not really sure about his reads. Some other people who I trust have called it Mafia, and I like that. I was jumping on Eric because I thought Eric was scum. When Hoppa was coming out, Eric looked like he was really bored, did not have a thing to care about what Hoppa was saying. Similarly, Pope looked the same way.
That is true.
I look. Well,
Sorry
I
to
was bored.
Sorry to interrupt. Pope looked bored, like he wasn't very interested. When Hoppa was talking, he was saying a lot of things. Maybe you don't agree with them, but I think it's important to note that there are some people here who were listening very intently to what he was saying, and some people who were just kind of zoning out. And I'm looking at the people who are zoning out, and that was Eric and Pope off the bat. I don't like what Andy was doing to try to get the lynch on Hoppa done. Since then, he has done nothing. I think he was trying to push what he thought would be an easy lynch. He was going after someone who he thought he could get lynched, who hasn't played with us before, and I think that is something that Andy does as scum. Furthermore, Pope was talking earlier, but he didn't really say anything of substance. Someone called him out, and he said, "No, I've been smiling this whole time." That was false, because during the whole thing with Hoppa, he was just kind of sitting there doing nothing.
That was me. Why am I on your list?
Because I'm not really sure what to think about you. Like, you and Ryan are the kind of in the question mark groups. As in, I would check, if I was Cop, I would check you. If I was Vigi, would be probably think about shooting tonight. Like, if you clearing you guys would, like, figure out the rest of the game. I don't know what all the stuff is on David. I guess I could kind of see that, but I don't really think there's anything to go off of there. I think we should lynch Andy or Pope. They are definitely very good performers. Captain would be as well.
So did you have an opinion on the Hoppa Mike thing, or are you saying you just don't know?
I think they're both. I mean, instinct says they're both town. Mike's more of a question mark than Hoppa is.
I like Phil's Pope read. I'll say that because he was kind of chatty and said a bunch of relevant things in the early game, and then really hasn't said anything.
The bad thing about David is that he kind of jumped on the Hoppa case. He said something like after Andy came out against Hoppa, right? That's fine.
Does
but
anyone
like,
remember
kind of
what I
like
said?
jumped on the
Because like I'm getting accused of jumping on him when all I did was ask him if he had rehearsed it. That was going to inform my read of him. I never actually took a stance there.
I mean, that's an interesting thing to ask. Why would you ask if someone has rehearsed a speech?
Because
Like,
I thought
what motivation do you have?
So if it was rehearsed, I would assume that it's not alignment indicative, and if it was not rehearsed, then I would like read into it a little further. That is
Phil,
why.
Sorry, Phil. Can I quickly
Strange thing to ask. Yes.
Can I quickly get your read on Boone and then Boone on Phil?
I thought Boone was Mafia. Oh, she was the other person who looked very uninterested when Hoppa was talking. Didn't seem like she cared about the game. When she talked, I kind of like half agreed with her reads. I think she's town, but would reevaluate in the next day or two.
Phil,
Okay,
I have
so-
a quick question for
I
you.
want to talk about Phil real fast. I don't like any of Phil's reads. I think that Andy and Boone are like two of my top town, and the fact that he like didn't like them for a while is just very strange to me.
Those weren't
I
Phil's
like
reads.
Boone. I like Boone because she defended both Hoppa and Mike, and a Mafia in that circumstance would probably.
I agree with Boone's read on Brian. Disagree with the read on Storzerg. I think Storzerg is incredibly talented.
And I like Andy because Mike said something about like 10, 20, 30 games, and like Andy and I were just like laughing our asses off because man, you have no idea.
Phil, quick question
I
for
really
you.
don't like how you had to be forced into formal to actually start talking. Really dislike that. And
Sorry, bud.
What?
I apologize.
So guys, would we like to continue the formal law, or any more questions for this?
Yeah, Ryan has a question.
Okay,
Ryan has
last question. Phil, I don't like, and I want you to explain why you would want a vigilante to shoot people in your question mark category over your scum category.
Because usually the people in the question mark category are like, that's where most of the Mafia are. Like, I call Pope and Andy Mafia, like, Pope, Andy, Captain. That's the three people I want to lynch. I'm probably wrong about at least one, maybe even two. And it's the question mark people who are fooling me. It happens a lot.
I don't feel like...
Can I just confirm that you're basing your reads on me, on how other people are reading me?
Okay. Sorry,
I just need a yes
but
or no.
I'm pretty sure we've reached our 5 minutes on Phil.
We have.
Your reads
So,
don't make
can I get
total
a-
captain sense.
Can I get a vote? I believe with 13 alive, it takes 7 to lynch.
Storzerg, do you want to rescind or?
Yeah. I'm gonna push to vote.
Okay.
All right, let's see votes.
Does everybody know how to vote first?
So here's what you do. You say in 3, 2, 1, and then you
Okay.
put your hand over your camera if you want to vote yes.
Awesome. All right, everyone, in 3, 2, 1, vote. All right, not enough to lynch. The play continues.
All right, I want to hear from Mike and I want to hear from Pope because
Yes,
the ones
Pope.
the ones that actually
About what people want to hear. We need to get another formal. We only have 4 more minutes left in the
Pope
day.
hasn't said a
Okay,
single
I'd
word
like-
and he votes
I'd
on
like to-
Phil. I think it's pretty
Give me 1
important
minute.
to hear him
Give me
talk.
1 minute to talk.
Okay,
Yeah, it's fine.
1 minute.
All right,
Cool,
so
guys.
I'm gonna weigh in on the Mike Kappa thing. What Boone said was pretty spot on about Happa. So what Happa said at the start, I thought was really well spoken. And even though you may think I wasn't paying attention, I heard everything he said. Okay. I understand he proposed this new way of like when we are about to vote, we pre-vote. And when he said that, I kind of disregarded it because that's not how you play. So I'll weigh in on Mike. Mike spoke up about his performance, which yes, that's fine. That's a good reason. But what I want to know is Mike after his performance. What do you think of him now?
Wait, Pope.
I think he's actually.
This is important.
This is important. It's a good point. I actually think he's been okay because he's been letting people talk a little more.
Yeah.
Okay, so
2 minutes to kill
Happa, what
somebody.
now?
2 minutes remaining.
Storzerg, stop talking.
Pope, you just voted for Phil without saying anything, and I want to know why.
Yeah, super easy. So I think his reads were just really wrong. And usually as Mafia, especially on day one, you don't want to ping your Mafia. I'm getting a town feel off of Andy, and I know I am town. So it's really easy for me to vote on Phil if I question that he could be Mafia. He lurked all day, and then he gave not terrible reads. Like, his Boone read was weird, because I like Brian. I know that sounds like no one likes Brian, but I like Brian because he kind of was on my side with the Ryan thing. So it's really easy. It's really easy for me to vote on Phil. Everything he said was a little bit against me.
Look at it this way: if you combine what me, Boone, and Eric, all said, you probably figured out the game.
Just say it.
I want to form Brian, but that's just me.
Do we have a second?
Then do it.
I think there's a form. I think there's a Mafia between Ryan and Eric. I'm just gonna say that.
It's
1 minute remains.
Yeah, I'll form with Brian.
Is there a second?
Second.
Yeah.
All right, form on Brian.
Okay, I'm gonna put her. I got it. Don't worry about it, man. If you want to get an accusation, you can. But otherwise, I'll get right to business. Okay.
Oh, go ahead then. Go ahead.
My problem with Ryan was that at the beginning of the day, when everybody's mind is fresh from the kills and what went down, if he's Mafia in this instance, he's basically put a thought in everybody's head. He's dictated the direction the day is going to go. Because when people think about the night kills, they're going to think back to, what if it's a daily Mafia person? I mean, they made those kills, right? I mean, Ryan said that. It's going to stick in your head no matter what you do. So I believe if he's Mafia, he's planted that seed in everybody's head, and he's controlling the direction that people are going to perceive how the night kills went down. I didn't like him doing that right off the bat. I thought that it was a way to gain control of the game. I didn't like Captain because Eric's initial thing was that my attacks and Ryan were arbitrary is a load of crap. I believe Captain seconding that and agreeing with that. From you guys can agree with it, but my personal experience with Captain is that he knows better. So while I already thought Captain was Mafia, it pretty much sets off red flags in my head. So that really didn't change my opinion of him at all. From where I'm at right now, I think Pope is town. The only thing I didn't like that Pope did was that Pope tried to attack Phil for lurking, when Pope has essentially been lurking a good portion of the day as well. So that was pretty hypocritical on Pope's part. Storzerg has since made me feel better about him. I was wrong about him not formaling. I believe by day 2 or 3, I liked sooner that, but we'll get a clear image on him. But I think right now, based on Storzerg's play and what I've seen of him since, he's going to be an asset to town, and I think Storzerg is very heavily town. I don't trust Boone, though. Boone has agreed with me, but Boone could easily be pocketing me and playing me. So I'm kind of reevaluating my direction and where I'm going. But for now, I'm tentatively okay with her, and that's pretty much all I've got at this point in time.
Okay,
So
can I ask you something then?
Sure.
Your biggest scum reads are me and Ryan. And one of the scummiest thing Ryan has done to you is
It was
we lost the night kill.
Okay.
So one of the biggest scummy things he has done to you is trying to control the game by drawing line in the sand very early. And me, his Mafia partner, recognizes he wants to control the game, and I throw it. I throw out that I don't agree with his logic. I think he was wrong, and I throw out a different kind of logic.
See,
So
your
my
assumption,
Mafia.
your assumption is that I think you're Mafia together. I never said you were Mafia together. I think there is Mafia between you. You both could be Mafia, and if you are, I don't know the reasoning. I just think you're both Mafia. So I haven't been able to find a tie-in yet, and I believe that the reasoning for why you're doing what you're doing will probably become apparent later. But right now, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on.
All right, Brian, here's the way that I feel. Basically, I gave my opinions on the night kills. If you notice, I created this group because I think everybody is strong players. Everybody has a say and everybody should be listened to. So for you to say, oh, this came from Ryan, I shouldn't be treated as any different than another player. Like, we're all on even footing ground here. If you'll also notice, there are more Daily Mafia players than any other thing. So for me to step out and say, I think it's Daily Mafia, if I'm trying to gain support from that, I'd probably go in a different direction. I just genuinely felt that way about the kills. Just because you happen to be a Daily Mafia player and you don't like that and you think I'm scummy because of the read, that just seems really weird to me.
See, that's just it. You may think everybody's equal here, but the reality is some players aren't. They really aren't, because they carry with them a certain degree of respect other players don't have, and you're one of them. So you have significant influence that other players do not have, whether you want to admit it or not.
Let me ask you a
do.
hypothetical.
Ryan,
So when you come out,
can we? This discussion is really, guys.
Yeah.
This discussion is really stupid. Ryan, who do you think's Mafia?
I don't like
But
Brian.
no, it's not about Ryan. It's about Brian.
Yeah.
Oh,
1 minute remains.
Brian, can you give your quick
I
three?
would really like to say something.
Okay, quick three.
I would lynch Captain. I'd be wary of Boone. I would lean towards lynching Pope. I liked Pope, but I can't ignore the fact that he's calling out for someone for lurking when he did the exact same thing. So it's kind of like evidence is staring me in the face for that. So it's kind of like, yeah. So
You listed Pope as Talon like 2 minutes ago.
I know.
yeah, we reached change.
In like 20 seconds?
Yeah.
Okay. Just check.
As you're talking, thoughts go through your head and you reevaluate as you're going along.
Let's talk about that then.
I think
What's
Brian
up,
and
Boone?
Say something.
All right, go ahead. I'll let you finish your thought.
Thank you. So, based on I called you Town prior to this. You hadn't really spoken too much. I just liked what you said about Captain. I now disagree, and I'm going to explain why. The last 10 games I've played with you, you've been Town and really mean Town, and you're not projecting mean Town Brian right now. You're trying really hard to be politically okay. You're not going super aggro on people. You're not shouting or yelling at anybody. You're not super passionate, and so your Town play as of late. So my read has changed on you.
So Boone, I'm gonna try to
real
rebut
quickly.
that a little
The
bit.
formal is over. The day is over. We need to go ahead and do a vote now.
Do I get the last 10 seconds? Or are we going to
do we want to do?
Yeah, he gets 10 seconds final words, and then we.
Okay,
10 seconds.
As far as my behavior, I went into this game with a certain degree of respect expected towards other players. So I've been trying to show that. If that makes me tame in your eyes, I apologize.
All right, it's over. We're going to vote now.
You're so sexy.
3, 2, 1, vote. There is no lynch. It is now night 1. Everyone go to sleep. Cameras off, mics off. All right. Now what we're doing is we're going to wait for the Mafia to send me their kills, wait for all the actions to allow me to allow them to come in. So bear with us real quick, guys.
Hey, Gramus, can you find me a 6 of clubs?
I'm still working on some things, unfortunately, or else I would do my magic tricks for you. All right, just got to make sure I've got all my actions in, everyone. Alrighty, I think that's about everything. Just making absolute certain. All right, everyone, it is now day 2. Please wake up. All right, so the events, do we still have everyone? All right, so the events of the previous day were, as the name suggests, rather eventful. So after the piano fell and killed our two noble citizens, 2 other people stepped upwards, and people began discussing things amongst themselves. But finally, the town came to a realization. They realized that the day prior, both the names of Andy and Happa had played a stunning duet on the piano the night before. They could be the only ones who would have ever done anything like this. Knowing this, some sort of justice might have been administered, and they were found dead in the morning. How sad. So I'm sorry, Andy and Happa, you are both dead. All right. Yes, is there a question?
No, go ahead.
I
I
have a general scolding to make here.
I don't think Mod's done.
I'm just saying. Day 1 begins now at 8:50.
Day 2.
Sorry, day 2 begins at 8:50,
All right.
and I believe we have 11 people remaining. No, yes, 11 people remaining. So
I don't give a shit if you guys had a slight town read on Brian or not. That was our last lynch for the day, and he didn't claim a role. That should have been an instant lynch to reduce the numbers. I don't understand why people didn't vote on that. That's just all.
Okay. So at this point, I'm gonna tell you, I have 2 live green checks. They are Phil and Mike. While you may think it's a bad idea to come out, it's a good idea to set the direction. Mike, I checked you yesterday. That's why I didn't even try to argue with you. And Phil, I checked you last night because I think you were just really wrong, and that is clear that you are. So now you know the direction to go. Take that what you will.
Counterclaims?
Yeah, if you want to counterclaim, that's fine.
I'm not gonna. I'm actually gonna. I don't know. I don't like the claim, and I'm gonna explain why.
You don't like the claim?
I like
Well,
both.
I claimed
And I
2
didn't
green
like
checks. When I heard Andy and Happa died, I was thrilled because that means that both my green checks are still alive.
I understand that, but as soon as I heard who died, I had to question why. Why those 2? There were other people that were way more town, or maybe said a couple of things. So why, especially why Happa? He probably could have been somebody that.
Because everyone switched on him, and everyone knew he was town at the end of the day.
So can you imply why you don't like the claim?
Even I said he got better.
Just because I figured maybe somebody was killing them for a specific reason.
Which is what?
Did you read either of them as cop, Boone? Is that why you killed them at night?
I don't understand.
I'm Vigi, and I still have a shot, actually, so get me off the table.
Oh.
So I will be shooting tonight.
All right, so we have
Okay, we got
4
this pretty good. We
confirmed.
got this
If
pretty good.
everybody's
Okay,
telling the
yeah.
truth, we have
What
4
else?
confirmed. We have a medic who needs to be saving Pope tonight. That'll be 5 confirmed.
We also have 2 votes to go off.
Yeah, isn't this almost
Oh,
auto?
It was me, Ryan, Eric, David, I think, who
We
voted, and
had
someone
one
else, right?
down. No, because we can mislynch David.
Mike, did you
I-
vote on
that's
Brian?
right. That's right.
So they
It
can
has
No,
to be-
I guess-
If you are alive and you voted on Brian, put your hand up.
Let's see.
So the
Oh,
I think
so I
the-
missed Thor. Alright,
while
I missed
that's
Thor.
decent, that's decent information. The best information is the vote on Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
but it's also interesting that there's only
Eric,
one
did you vote
person
on
who
both?
voted on both.
Was that
Yeah,
Eric?
who voted on both?
I did
I
not
think
vote on
Captain's
both.
the only one that
I voted on both.
No,
Oh, yeah,
I voted
sorry, I
on
meant
I
Ryu.
didn't vote on Phil.
Didn't David
I
vote
can
on
list them
both?
for you.
Yeah, I voted on both.
So David too. David and Ryan both.
Okay.
So one thing I noticed yesterday.
Mike, Pope, and Andy voted on Phil, and Eric, Stor, and I voted on Brian.
That's right. One thing I noticed yesterday is that both Captain and Boone kind of came to my defense for they don't need to do that if they're Mafia. Now that we have the claim from Pope, and I'm not saying I'm not the cop, but I'm going to say that if we go with what Pope just said, that would comport with both Boone and Captain defending me when they wouldn't need to. So I'm feeling like what we're looking at is that me, Phil, Boone, Pope, and Captain are looking good, and that will limit this a lot at this point.
Who was your other check, Pope?
Captain?
I checked.
Other than Phil?
I checked. Oh, Mike, 9-0.
He's calling me down because
I would not
defended
clear
him.
Captain by any.
Yeah, I kind of agree with what Joey said.
clear
Captain's
Captain
not
at
an
all.
easy clear. What Captain does is he pockets town and he busts his Mafia. So, he called it
Okay, so I don't know that.
So Pope,
Let's kill Brian then.
So he called out David yesterday. He was the first one to call out David, which was not unusual because I think David has been playing questionable. But it's not. It's definitely not out of Captain's playbook to just call his Mafia out of nowhere.
Okay,
like David didn't have any heat, right? So I think.
So Pope, I wanna talk about something that like you brought up that people play a certain way, like Captain's normal style. Well, like in my opinion, like almost everybody here is playing abnormally. Like Boone said that Brian didn't do his like angry town tunnely thing. Like
I kind of agree.
I haven't come out and led. Captain didn't give his scum reads or his scum.
It's
like,
a new environment. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, it's a new environment, so I don't think that these behavioral reads are like very valuable, and that's what I was going to say to Boone at the very end of the day, but we ran.
No,
out of time.
I agree. That's why I didn't vote on Brian because, yeah.
So Storzer, did you vote on Phil?
I did not vote on Phil.
No. The only Mafia that voted on me could be Ryuzilla or David. Those are the only two.
I really want like a
Andy are
read
clear.
between. I think our lynches should really be between Ryuzilla and Captain.
I think
Ryuzilla
Ryuzilla
is like scummy is
great.
Boone is.
I don't know. I'm actually with Boone here. With like, I'm thinking more about this claim. There was somebody that I thought might have been the cop. That,
Okay, so did he just green check a partner?
That's what I'm. Okay,
that's
so
yeah.
as
That's
soon as
what
I
you would
heard,
do in this.
So then
I
who
looked
which
at what I
partner
had
is the
written
green?
down. Mike.
Mike?
So here's my thing: is
I think
as soon
Phil
as I
is
heard
more
there
suspicious
was-
than Mike.
I really
No.
like Phil defense.
Okay, but can I finish?
Yeah, go for it, Boone.
Okay.
I'm not gonna interrupt.
So when I heard that it was Happa and Andy, I looked at what I had written down, and Happa had like one strong read, and that was Mike as Mafia.
That's
and
not
Andy
true.
had one strong town read, and that was me as town. And so, if Happa was cop,
That's not.
then Mike would be Mafia.
I had a different view of who I thought was cop, so maybe we're just both wrong.
We might be
If you have a red check, we're free Mafia. You claim and you reduce KP.
Yeah.
So
Especially he's new to
he
this
wasn't-
whole process.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
but he's not new to
that's
Mafia.
a good point, Captain.
He's
I'm probably
not. He wouldn't.
I don't think he was
You
caught
do
with red
though.
check
There's
on
no reason
Mafia.
not to because you're instantly
think-
alive.
I mean, stranger things have happened, but
Yeah.
to try to like debunk this real quick. So you think Mike yesterday as Mafia
I
with me
So
bust
Pope, you were like
me in
lurking
the
on
opening
purpose?
5 seconds? You
Pope.
thought his first reaction was I'm busting my partner.
Pope, you were lurking yesterday on purpose. That's what you're.
Yeah,
telling me?
of course.
Okay.
All right, I want
I
to
didn't
talk.
even soft that or anything. and it
I
worked
buy
well.
it. I buy it.
I want to talk about pretty much everything that I think into the game up to this point. I think that I'm on the chopping block because of the way that I voted, so I'd like to address my votes, and I'd also like to address what I think about the town and Mafia. So basically, let's talk about my votes first. The first person that I voted on was Phil. I did not like Phil's logic one bit about how he thought that the vigilante should shoot between the question marks instead of the people that he thought were scummy. I always, at least to me, if I was instructing a vigilante, I would instruct the vigilante to shoot the people that I thought were scummy, not the people that I were unsure of, so I voted on Phil. Brian, I really don't think that... The way that Brian talked about me is really strange. So basically he's saying, my opinion is respected, so I must be Mafia. And I gave my opinion, and that was that. And it's really unsound logic, in my opinion. I still think Brian is scum, and I still think he should be a strong lynch for today. All right, let's go about talking about who is left in the town. So I am going to believe the claim from both Pope and Boone, and by proxy, I believe Phil and Hoya are town. As far as my body reads are concerned, I think that Joey is towny. I think that Captain is towny. I think that David is scummy. Eric is on the fence for me. Storzerg, I thought was towny on day 1, but the fact that he's dropped back, he's starting to get into scum territory. That's everybody. I just wanted to let all my thoughts be known.
All right. Can you explain why you think Joey's down?
Joey is a pure body read for me. He just seems like genuinely.
Ryan, I think it's really interesting that you talked about your voting record and then town read the people who voted different from you.
I'm sorry?
Who are the people that voted for Ryan? Ryan, David, Eric, Captain,
right here,
and Store.
And Store.
So my reads are not dependent on who voted with or against me. My reads are separate of that sometimes.
If we had lynched him, this would be a won game, just for the record.
Thank you, Eric. But I would like to point out that, assuming we're believing the claims, that's 4 confirmed people who did not vote for Brian. So either Brian is Mafia, which means like the other 2 people who did not vote for him are also Mafia on this team, which I don't think is likely, or Brian is Town and Mafia were voting on that because they thought they could get it passed. Especially since like Boone came out and said she was voting for him but didn't.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
So unless you're saying that David and Ryan are the Mafia, you're saying that Mafia didn't vote on you for some reason.
No, they could still. I think Ryan and David are both very suspicious. I would kill them. I think Storserk should be killed. I think of the unconfirms, I think Brian, Captain, and Eric are all town.
So I'll say this: it would be really awesome if we lynched one today.
I made it, boys. I'm in the gray.
I disagree with you completely.
So, who do you want to kill, Captain and Brian?
I think
those are the 2. Okay, we have. Let me just. I just mathed it out. We have a 50% chance of hitting a Mafia today, right?
From your POV.
No.
Even
if you outside the circles,
I'm saying from the unconfirmed, there's 6 people left and there's 3 Mafias.
7. You're not including yourself.
I did include myself.
From the unconfirmed, David.
Yes.
I didn't
entertain the idea.
There's
If
7
you're
of
town
us.
and the unconfirmed
finish.
to you.
Well, I think I counted right. 1, 2, 3.
No,
4.
you're right. You're right, Eric.
Okay.
David just can't count himself.
Okay, so it's a 50-50 shot.
7.
I think Storzerg is town. I've been wrong in the past. Actually, last week I was wrong. When I picked him on a resistance mission and I thought he was town, he fucked me.
It's okay.
I don't think it's
resistance.
Yeah, I don't think it's happening this game. I had a pretty good read as town on Phil. The first day I did not like Brian, and I was somewhat leaning towards Mafia on Captain. The 2 people who I claimed were town were, other than Storzerg, were High and Mighty and Happa, and they unfortunately all died. So the way I'm seeing it is, I think that if we lynch between Brian and Captain, we're going to have the strongest possible chance for a Mafia lynch today. That's just from my point of view. Like, based on my reads, and like, I'm not looking at the votes right now because, like, I voted on Brian. Like, it
Who's
had
the other
to be
Mafia?
done.
Who's the other Mafia?
I would say we'd be better off making it between Brian and Storzerg. We're going to make it between
Who's the other Mafia?
No.
Who's the other Mafia? This is important if Mafia were busting Brian, if your theory about Brian is correct.
That's fine. I mean, it could be somebody. It could be Joey. It could be David. It could be Ryan. Like, I mean, I don't know. All I'm interested right now is reducing KP. So I want to put in the best possible chance to reduce KP right now.
Quick question. So, what read do you have on Captain that has differed from the end of yesterday when you seconded his formal?
He formaled Brian, who's the guy that I wanted to formal. So
you believe that Captain is putting the final formal on his own Mafia?
Honestly, dude, I didn't even think about it at the time. I had a slightly Mafia read on Captain. I thought Brian was pretty much...
That's kind of what I'm asking now. Like,
I agree with you that Captain is like iffy, suspicious at times.
Pope, I really like
agree
that
with you,
cat.
but
I thought
based on what happened, I don't think it's
second there was like a little bit frightened, as if he didn't want to be the center of attention. Like he like grudgingly seconded because he talked about wanting to formal earlier.
Everybody was going. At that moment, everybody was going on Pope, and I'm like, okay, I want to formal somebody, but everybody's gonna kill me if I don't formal Pope. I want to formal Brian, but like I knew that nobody was gonna go along with it, and the captain's like, I formal Brian. I'm like, oh, okay, let's do it. I mean,
so
I wanted to hear what the dude had to say. Like, yeah.
So Eric just seems like pretty concerned with how town was perceiving him. That's one of the things that I find to be pretty Mafia. So like, I didn't put a read on Eric yesterday, but today I'm not liking it.
Yeah, I said yesterday. I think it's Eric or Ryan, and the way Ryan's
you guys are throwing this game right now. I swear to you.
No, Eric's town.
Who's Mafia?
Hey, Boone, if you're the Vigi and you got a claim that made sense, why was your first response to that claim that you would believe it, that you'd still think I was a Mafia? Doesn't make sense at all.
I'm saying if the claim is not correct, then you would be Mafia. I just want to make it clear, though. I have a town read on you, and I said that yesterday. I'm
That's
just
what I
saying if for whatever reason he's fake claiming, and I don't know how to read you properly, then Happa could have been cop with a red check. However, looking back at it, like there is no reason for him to not come out to reduce KP on day one.
No, so the reason
it's not really something.
So the reason I'm asking this is it seems to me like Storzerg is the one who pushed Happa. I mean, I did too, but at the end of the day, I was able to say I think he's gotten better. I'm probably wrong, but he didn't say that. And in fact,
you're right. I didn't say that.
Right.
I even questioned you on it.
Wrong.
Right.
I was looking away from
it. What? I'm not understanding what kind of information you want from me.
Well, I was asking you that question. It just made no sense. When you clarified that what you're saying is that in the event that it's actually a fake claim, then there might be a problem. I can see what you're saying.
My head was just kind of spinning when I heard those kills because I wasn't expecting them.
I can see what you're saying.
Okay, so you two are both confirmed. I would love this.
From your eyes, Pope.
Right.
Pope, like, why aren't you saying anything, man? You're just like
I am leading the discussion. Be quiet, Joey. Like
I don't understand why Eric would have a problem with substituting in store and substituting out captain like a group of two and then working on that.
Yeah, I
think
what's going on?
I think he's just frustrated with the way that things are going.
I think Eric's on the right track. There's just
I'm
like one or two
frustrated
things
that we
that
did not lynch Brian yesterday. Like
I understand.
I understand.
I don't. It doesn't. It just blows my mind that we let a lynch go. Like
I'm sorry too, dude.
Can I hear Storzerg's reads?
No, you're not.
Dude, look at him. He's Mafia. Look
I'm
at
not
him.
Mafia at all. I'm relaxed now.
Hey.
So,
I do agree.
I think
Brian
it's between Brian, Joey, and David. I think those are the three.
Oh, no.
I think we lynched David.
I don't have stock anymore.
David is a lynch. I like Brian as a lynch.
So Storzerg, what?
Wow, I had like completely different. Fuck.
Well, of course you don't have yourself.
I have different reads than you.
If we lose, like, you guys can blame me. I'm telling you, the guy's Mafia.
Everyone's so good at this game. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, I
Mafia,
was
really.
about to say those exact three names, Boone. The only thing I had to add to that was that, while I still really think Brian is Mafia, the logic on the votes leads me to think that David is a better lynch today, because it's more likely for Dave to be Mafia than Brian. I'm reading both is really scummy, but if we're looking at the votes, Brian not getting lynched with all 4 confirms not voting on him, there's a chance that I'm misreading Brian and that he's down and just, I don't know, playing bad. So I think David is a much safer lynch.
I believe I'm playing.
And as for name, I would say probably Joey. Because Eric and Ryan
So
are really down.
I think this is a circumstance where the confirmed towns are wrong, and like a bunch of pretty suspicious people are jumping on board. Like I don't understand.
David.
Right.
I love for all the unconfirmed to give their 3 because I think that'd be interesting.
So I think it's Eric and Captain and maybe you, Joey. No, probably Ryuzilla. I feel pretty good about you.
I think it's Storzerg is my number 1 today. I was gonna say Eric was number 1 today. But I'm willing to reevaluate due to the number of people that are talking about him in a pro-town fashion.
Can we let all the unconfirmed give their 3 though? Like,
so yeah,
I'm for me.
Unconfirmed or confirmed?
Unconfirmed first. If you want to give confirmed after, that's okay. But just no reasoning. Just like what you think your 3 is right now.
Yeah, I'll go because I've been kind of quiet.
Okay,
At this point in time, I'm reevaluating Captain. I'm willing to admit I might be wrong on him with the way the day has gone down. I called Storzerg and asked it yesterday, but he hasn't really followed through with that at all. He's been pretty much a non-factor today. So I lynched Storzerg. I will lynch Ryan because my read on Ryan is still the same. I still believe he's Mafia. He really hasn't given me... We're basically at the point where Mafia gets pushed into a corner, and it's just agree to disagree. That's basically his only defense on his actions. I believe his actions are what I said they are. I believe he's Mafia and he needs to be lynched. Right now, yeah. Hi, Eric. How you doing, buddy?
Okay, so Brian, let's examine my.
I was asked to get 3, and I don't have a 3rd.
Just don't explain them though. Just quick.
I was asked to give 3. I don't have a 3rd. Okay. All right, Brian.
Well, boss.
Let's examine my play for a second. All right, so at the beginning of the day, when we're giving our first initial reads on the night kills, I said it was probably Daily Mafia led. And then I supported a vote on Phil, who isn't from Daily Mafia. So obviously, my reads can be different. I wasn't really drawing a line in the sand. I was trying to give insight on the night 0 kills. And that's it. And the fact that you keep harping on that one play that I made in the first 5 minutes is really sketchy to me. You're still my top Mafia read. Number 2 and 3 are Storzerg and David.
So real quick, how much time do we have?
Those are
we
good.
have about 14 minutes remaining.
I want to give my 1, 2, 3 real quick. So I think it's Storzerg, David, and then one between Captain and Ryu. Okay, thank you.
You guys are lynching me today.
I didn't do that in any particular order. Like,
David, can we get yours, please?
I'll kill all of you.
Yeah. So I'm
voted
gonna
for
go
you.
with Eric, and then Brian, and then Ryuzilla.
Eric, Brian.
Yeah,
Ryan?
I think so. I'm looking at Eric today, and he's like super agitated about everything, and like his whole point about yelling at us for not lynching Brian. I don't know. That may have been like forced. I do think that we should have lynched Brian. I think that this is a case where the confirmed towns were wrong. Like,
Okay.
I haven't. I think that Brian has been assigning Ryuzilla's words way too much weight this whole game. So like, this is supposed to be a game of all stars. I don't know why Brian has chosen to elevate like random speculation on the night kills to being such a game-defining like storyline.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Storzerg, can you give us your 3, please?
Okay, I don't actually have 3, but I have a comment on Ryuzilla right now, and the comment is Ryan likes to play with body reads and gut stuff, and he gave an early read on me, okay, and he explained it in some detail, and for him to kind of flip on me now, it feels weird.
Can I rebut
The main
this?
reason it seems like he's flipped is in part because I've been pretty inactive today. I've been quiet, not really doing anything, and he's kind of led to this thing where he has to pick other people than to confirm. And I value his reads that he does, his body reads. He usually places more value in them, and for him to kind of just, it feels like it's been discarded, and it really bothers me.
Isn't that what should happen when there's peaks? He's got to reevaluate at that point.
Okay, so Story, let me talk to you. Last night, I went back and I watched an old Mafia game, and the way that people played, even though it was the same cast that I'm used to, it was like completely different people. And on day 1, for a couple of minutes, I saw that out of you. The old Storzerg, the excitable Storzerg, the one who will be aggro. And now that that's gone, when you fade into obscurity, that's what you do when you're Mafia. You put people into thinking that you're town early on, and then you fade away. And that's what you've done, and that's why I reevaluated. It's very simple.
Okay, so can you give us your 3, please?
People I would lynch today?
Yeah.
David, Ryuzilla, Brian.
You do realize that David and Ryan both voted on Brian there, right?
No.
It's fine. Captain, can you give me your 3?
Well, I already gave my 3 in David, Joey, and Brian. If I'm wrong about one of those, it could be. I don't know. I'm reading really tough, but it is weird that Ryan feels the need to defend himself as much as he does. Because I don't know. He doesn't strike me as a player who would be fearing getting lynched. So it's kind of weird, but I think that's true.
Bill, how does it feel to be wrong about all your suspects?
I'm not wrong. I'm right.
Oh, you're wrong on day 1 about every single one of them.
Sure,
it happens. Captain. We don't know about Captain.
Hey Ryan, I have a question for you. We've been reading about a lot of stuff.
I make mistakes, man. Not a robot.
What?
So Ryan, we've actually agreed about a lot of stuff, like when you were saying about Phil on the first day that his reads didn't make sense about who's going to have biggie. Whatever.
Can I rephrase that? I think you've agreed with me after I said them. Is that fair?
No, that's not really fair, because a lot of the stuff was stuff I was thinking exactly the same time. Like when he was saying that I was third on his lynch list, but at the same time he would say someone big me and not the ones who were ahead of him. That didn't make any sense at all. That's why I voted him. I was wrong, obviously. But the question I want to ask for you is, like, is that how you usually make reads? Because I'm doing that because it's basically a form-based way of thinking about werewolf, and I don't have a whole lot else to go on, although when Captain was nodding yes, when Boo was saying I was a villager on the first day, I noticed that. But for the most part, I feel like I'm kind of limited in the way I've always played. I'm trying to, like, expand it. But if the way that I'm making reads is not the way you usually make reads, but you're making the same ones, that is very odd to me.
Sure. Okay, so basically...
10 minutes remaining today, by the way.
You need a lynch.
It depends on the person. Phil, for me, his read is when his smile begins to fade for an extended period of time, and the only reason that, I mean, right now his face looks scummy, but the only reason I don't think so is because of the fact that he's confirmed by the town. I do make logic plays. I do like to talk about people's logic, especially when he's said, Vigi, I want you to shoot, and then included me in that name. I've been Vigi shot before, so I really like to voice my opinions on it. So I do like to make body reads. I also like to make logic reads as well.
I mean, I'm asking you that because I'm trying to get sort of like a little elimination going, because if I'm right about where I'm kind of at, I feel like going with Store, Brian, or David is like really highly likely to find that Mafia no matter what.
Those are the 3 people. I agree. Those are the 3 that I threw out.
Although I would say one last
I'm going to
thing.
speak about a couple things that just happened. I thought that Store telling Phil that he was wrong was like really strange. It was absolutist language, which I thought was a little weird, and especially like his thing about Captain at the very end of it. It's like, oh, we don't know about Captain yet. He may have like caught himself there, and then like the fact that Joey was only included in Captain's circles is also, I think, interesting.
We did it, boys. We're confirmed down now.
We can't kill Store Sword.
Okay. So
I really I don't
I
know.
believe in you. You believe in me.
Okay, so wait.
I really don't wanna
Phil, let's talk. Thanks. Okay, so Phil, I want to hear your opinion, but I'm leaning towards Joey Captain at this point.
As Mafia?
Yeah, I'm willing to.
Say that again. Say that again.
No.
Say it again, please.
I said Joey Captain.
I don't.
You better be real.
I originally said I originally wanted to say Stores or Joey, but everyone's going away from that too.
I'm not.
Like maybe I'm just way off, but everything I'm saying, everyone's like.
Take that one.
Why should David not be lynched today? I need very good reasons why David should not be lynched today, and
I agree.
And the reason that someone else is more suspicious is not a good reason.
I think that David should not be lynched today is because he seems like he's very confused, Tom.
Yeah.
Honestly,
That's exactly what I'm reading. He's like taking notes on like everyone.
Like,
David
honestly,
is-
to me, like Phil, you trust my reads, right? I'm a pretty good read player. I'm reading him as confused town, really confused town. If you were Mafia, he wouldn't be going after me.
But I read you as
that's mistake number one.
I read you as a confused town, so I think you have a confused read. Does that
No,
make sense?
I don't. I think I have a pretty good grasp on this game. Now, the fact that he voted on Brian, the way I viewed that Brian vote was there weren't enough votes to pass on a vote that needed to pass. Like that should have been like 11 out of 12 or whatever the fuck we had. The fact that there were only 4 or 5 votes on that read strongly Mafia to me. I understand that a lot of the confirmed town did not vote on that, but I'm telling you, I don't see a lot of Mafia voting there either. A few of them probably did, maybe 1, 2, I don't know, but they only voted because they felt like they had to. Like I'm telling you, that was a Mafia vote. Like that was a vote on somebody that's a Mafia player.
Yeah, but if you think he's Mafia, you can't possibly think both Mafia voted on him.
Honestly, dude, if I were Mafia and you were Mafia, I would have voted there because if I didn't, I would have looked like fucking scum when everybody voted except for me. Like, you just have to vote there.
So that's an interesting point because I was gonna say that the one thing about your agitation,
Eric, like that's how I felt at the end of the day too. That like basically we had to lynch there.
no, I'm not feeling good about Eric at all. I mean, the reason Eric's saying that, to my mind, actually starts to look like he's getting all frustrated and mad because he knows he's.
No, like
right.
I said this earlier.
Eric,
I thought that the confirmed
One
towns
bullet.
were
Who are you
involved
shooting?
there, and like that's what he just said. So he's saying
One bullet. Who are you shooting?
Me?
Yeah.
Brian, you kidding me? Shoot him twice.
So then, Captain, you have 1 bullet. Who are you shooting?
I don't know yet.
5 minutes remain in the day.
So did we get sweet talked by Brian? Or are a lot of people just wrong?
No. Okay. Yeah. That's what we need to figure. Okay.
I mean, I just didn't vote because I'm kind of tentative on my first day. I didn't realize it was like
That's
exactly
what happened. Like, and that sucks.
If you formal living, like, I'll formal Brian. I mean, it's fine.
I second Brian. We have a second. There's a formal on Brian.
Formal.
Are Boone and Pope okay with this? I'm only voting if all 3 of the other confirmed town are in agreement here.
Well,
Otherwise, I'm not.
Phil, you were wrong 2 out of 2, so I'm willing to go the full length of the field.
I said it. If you 3 are voting on him, I will vote on him. That's the only reason.
How about we just hear what Brian has
I'll
to
just
say?
give my defense.
Okay.
I mean, you can say whatever you like. I like to think I've been playing pretty town this game. I've been going after Ryan. That's how I play. I poke and I poke and I poke. People repeat themselves and they make mistakes. I believe Ryan has been Mafia since day one. I'd like to think I've been keeping him on the defensive when I believe he was controlling town and keeping him at a corner, at least trying to minimize the damage he's doing. I'm still iffy on Captain. It's very difficult for me to read him considering he agreed with Eric, and I know Eric is wrong, and I know his whole perception on why I originally thought Ryan was scummy was bad. Storzerg really just isn't doing anything for me right now. He really isn't. I mean, his talk with Ryan felt awkward as a whole. It sucks it's come to this. If you've got 5 minutes left, I don't want to waste my entire formula. Otherwise, it's going to screw us over again. So if you have any questions, just ask now, and then we'll push it real quick.
Hey, Brian's safe. He didn't claim yesterday.
Brian,
What?
I'm not sure what Storzer did there, but I like one of the reasons that I'm scum reading you right now is that your read on Captain seems to be reactive. Like at the beginning of the day, you thought Captain was Mafia, and then Captain like started to reconsider you, so you started to reconsider Captain, and now he's Mafia again. Like I don't like that.
Actually, I reconsidered him first, and then he began to reconsider me. So you got the positions reversed.
That is not how it's written down in my note sheet. I'm gonna believe my note sheet.
Then I think your notes are incorrect. Anyhow, there's really no other questions, so I'm not going to let this be the last formal of the day, so I'm going to push the vote.
All right, push the vote.
Sorry. Doesn't the formal have to agree to this?
Yes.
Who has the formal?
Yeah, whoever has the vote.
That was me. I agree. Push the vote.
Whoa.
Push the vote. All right. With 11 alive, it takes 6 to lynch. We're going to lynch in 3, 2,
vote, Phil.
1.
I don't
vote.
That's a pass.
That is a pass. Everyone go to sleep. It is now night 2. We're going to go ahead and get the actions in. And as I wait for them, hope the Twitch chat is doing all right and can see everything great. Just waiting to get some things in. Glad to hear a couple people are having a good time in the chat today. We almost got all the actions in. I think we've got everything. Just got to make sure real quick. Would hate to make a mistake because that would be terrible. All right, it is now day 3. Everyone wake up. Become awakened. All right. So after the events of night 1, the town was in dire straits, they felt. Throwing out accusations and rousing up the people. A couple people got into a fight. First person to get into a fight was unfortunately Brian, and he was lynched by the town. I don't have better flavor than that, so I'm sorry. The other things that happened, as night fell, there was a group of townies that came together. They struck hard and fast and just randomly chose people at random. It's a great way to actually execute justice, randomly picking people. They picked them and threw them off a bridge. Unfortunately, both Pope and David, I'm sorry, but we have to bid you adieu. You were thrown off the bridge.
All right. Was that a shot, Boom?
Yeah, I
Had
shot
to
David.
be.
Okay. All right.
Okay, that's good.
Well, it didn't have to be, but yeah.
Okay, so now like the only thing is like you don't know if it was a double stack or not.
We need to know.
Like if it, I think
we don't
so
know.
it's Lilo. It's
There were
it's
3 deaths.
No, there weren't. There were two.
no. What's his
No,
name? That was like the
two.
limit
No,
death.
either it's a
It's
double
Lilo
stack.
right now.
Either it's a double stack or there's
I think
no
medic should out if it was a double stack because then it's Lilo.
I'm not.
I don't agree with that, but that's just me.
Well, let's just do that. We should do that no matter what. Figure out who the medic is. I'm not the medic.
Well, shouldn't the medic come out?
Well,
No.
let's talk about this. Let's talk about the medic claim first. So here, let's talk about the pros and cons. The pros are, if it was a double stack, then we
That was ballsy.
okay. If it was a double stack, then we know that there are 3 Mafia alive unless Boone shot correctly. if it was not a double stack, then that seems like a Mafia desperation play because they have to go for Pope or the game is likely over.
I don't feel too good about Joey coming out and saying Medic should come out.
No, Eric, I need to explain. Like, I actually think that he needs to, and I'm going to explain why. Because if there was a double stack, like, I'm willing to lose the Medic right now to find out if there were 3. Like, if we lynched wrong or if we lynched correctly,
I'll tell you why.
Then...
Yeah, if we lynched correctly on Brian, that's enormous.
I'll tell you why. No. It is an important fact, but there's one more important fact. We have what?
No, it will get us confirmed town to the final 4.
We have 3 confirmed towns right now. That is our best asset. Okay, so. 1, 2, 3,
it's
4,
not.
5, 6,
if we get
7,
Medic
8,
to out, then we need one more town and it's auto if we shot correctly. And also, regardless of if Medic comes out right now, we're for sure getting 1 confirmed town to final 4, right? Because you have 3 and it's 8, so 8 to 6 to 4, so 2 lynches, 2 kills. So we for sure get a confirmed to final 4. So I think Medic coming out of there is actually a really great idea.
I mean, it's interesting. The thing I was looking at is if their plan right now, Mafia's plan, is probably going to be just start killing off the confirmed one by one.
But it doesn't matter.
If the medic comes out,
that's fine. I can't kill fast.
They can't kill them
if
off.
the medic comes out, they're just going to kill the medic, and that's confirmed.
So then what? Like, it doesn't matter. We're getting it confirmed anyways. We're getting it confirmed to final 4 anyways.
Oh, I think I know.
Having 4 confirmed towns against 4 non-confirmed is kind of.
Yeah, it's good shit, and then we just need to add 1 unconfirmed town, and it's auto.
Here's what we can do. We'll just give 10 seconds of silence. If the medic wants to claim, they can. If they don't, we just don't talk about it again the rest of the day.
Please.
Okay, so let's just not talk about it the rest of the day.
All right.
All right, so the fact that...
So, Store, did you have no thoughts on that at all?
On what? Medic?
On the Medic idea? On how good it would be to go clear people from lynching Brian if Brian was probably... What does that mean?
Well, here's the deal. If, okay, so we're like, hey, Medic should come out, and in theory it is a good idea, but with how many people are dead, it is kind of likely that Medic is dead. Later on, somebody could, fake claim Medic, let's say, and that puts us in a sticky situation. I think we should have just assumed that we are dealing with potentially 3.
Well, for example, if you fake claim Medic after the 10-second thing, no one's going to believe you. I mean, maybe they will. I'm not.
You would be surprised. You would be surprised. People are like, well,
it wasn't
we can't
me
lynch him
saying...
now. Like,
I will agree under
Here's what I'm going to say.
circumstances.
It wasn't 10 seconds or we're not going to believe you. It's 10 seconds to let them decide for themselves, and then we just don't discuss it so we don't waste time. And now we're still discussing it.
So can you talk about your shot on David? So I feel like Brian and David were opposite sides of town, so you were just trying to reduce KP, I assume, make sure you guaranteed got down to 2 for Mafia.
Yeah, well, I had them both in my scum reads. I don't think it's out of anyone's realm of play to bust a partner, even if there's only 3. So I'm not going to say that they're definitely on different alignments, but I think if they are, it's a safe play anyways. I read David more scummy than Brian, which is why I shot him. I lynched Brian because I felt like we needed to lynch.
What did you think about the vote on Brian? Because I felt that was super weird. I knew I wasn't going to vote because I was reading Brian pretty town. And I didn't feel
everybody knew it was going to go through.
Who did not vote? Who did not vote on Brian?
Right here, boys.
I didn't vote.
That's also true for day 1 fail.
There were only 3 people that said that David was scummy, and none of them put him as their first. When we do this we usually do 2 names, not 3. We like to, it's almost like a math game where you take the 2 scummiest people that everybody has, you look at them and you try and decide who would be the most likely Mafia out of them. And it works a lot of the time. And for me, David it was screaming to me, so I shot him. I think that at this point in time, I would, this is so difficult. But I think that it's between Storzerk and Captain.
Really?
You don't want to kill Ryan?
I think it's Storzerg, Ryuzilla, in my opinion.
If you think that, I'm happy to kill Store tonight. Store's my number one.
Switch their opinion on me, or not necessarily switch.
Maybe
but called me out.
no.
The only unconfirmed
I
that was
really like
saving me per se was Eric.
Boone, do you still think Brian was Mafia?
Stores are the reason. I guess I could talk about this now, but I thought you were the medic.
Day one, you thought I was a medic, please.
Just based on your play, I thought you were the medic.
So, are you changing your opinion on me, Eric?
Sorry?
Are you changing your opinion on me?
No, like I don't know if you are or not. It wouldn't be beneath you to not say anything and then wait for somebody to come out and then counterclaim. So I don't know yet. But I'm just saying,
I just want to say
every time somebody brought up your name, I was saying we can't kill Storzer because this is how you play when you have a role. So that's just my view.
Eric, so you were real big on what the voting about Brian was like on the first day. Now we have Brian lynched. I think you think Brian was Mafia. So why are you not right now kind of building on the votes to extrapolate out who you think most likely?
I've already done it. So I have to. I want to pull the town together and figure out whether we think if it was a double stack or a single kill on him.
It seems unlikely that it was a double stack, since it seems unlikely we have a medic.
And the only person from the unconfirmed that didn't vote for him is Joey, right?
Yeah, I agree. So that's why it looks super weird from my eyes.
It seems scummy in my eyes of you.
Okay,
right. If I'm to build on the vote,
that's great, and I actually want to talk about it anyways. So, I honestly didn't get the impression that was going to be like a full vote, anyways. So, like, I was kind of hoping, because I've been reading Brian pretty town. It's possible I was wrong, but I was reading him pretty town the entire game because our reads matched up just about the entire time. And so, when I was the only one not voting, and me knowing that I'm town, I don't know. I just feel like it made him even more towny in my eyes that I know everyone voted and I'm the only town and I didn't vote.
All right, so here's the way that I see things from my opinion. The fact that we don't have a medic should make it blatantly obvious that the people who were originally after Brian are towny and that Brian was a Mafia and that we did reduce kill power. I feel like the people who didn't vote initially and...
Can you explain that again? I don't understand how you can come to that conclusion.
We're not 100% sure that it wasn't a double stack.
Exactly.
I feel like
medic or no medic, if they're still Mafia, they can still double stack.
Exactly. They have to risk not killing the cop. They're gonna double stack if they have 2 KP, and then if they want to risk it, they'll go for 1 KP onto the cop. If they only have 2 Mafia.
Even if they have 1 KP, I still see them trying to go for poke because you can do it once and then do it again, and you're for sure having them 2 rounds. If you try to skip him the first time and then the medic doesn't save him, and then you try the next time, you're really fucked. Like, if you go for him the first 2 times, you're at least sure you get him the second time.
Right,
you know?
with the math medic, but...
Captain has something.
Yeah, I'm actually starting to more and more think that Brian was a Mafia. And wasn't? One of the big reasons wasn't. And one of the main reasons for that is because
we have 2 Mafia now.
He wasn't the logical kill yesterday.
It was a logical kill.
Weren't you the same? Oh, okay, never mind. Go ahead. I'll let you finish.
I was the first one to push on him, and I continued to push on him until, during yesterday, I started to reevaluate because the only person, and it was true yesterday as well, to not vote on Brian day 1 was Joey. And yesterday I was reading Joey scummy, but that still meant that it's other. Like, the other Mafia would have voted on Brian, and all 4 confirmed didn't vote on Brian day 1. So Mafia took a really big risk day 1, reducing their own KP if Brian was Mafia.
Did you vote for Brian day 1?
Who? Me?
I said Joey.
I didn't vote for him.
Joey is the only unconfirmed who didn't vote on Brian day 1.
I didn't vote for him.
I believe there are 10 minutes remaining in the day. Let me confirm that real fast.
So,
no, there are 20 minutes remaining in the day.
So
Sorry.
Brian was actually a very clear lynch yesterday. He was pushed up to lynch on day 1, and he didn't claim, and he had the opportunity.
You're wrong, and here's why.
The next day.
So, of the people alive yesterday, the people who didn't vote were Joey and all 4 confirmed down. All the other unconfirmed people voted on Brian. So Brian was not an obvious lynch yesterday. Brian was a weird lynch yesterday. Because at least one of his partners must have busted him on day 1 if he was Mafia. So that is why Brian was not a logical lynch, and I'm starting to think Brian probably was town.
Thank you.
And based on that, the people I want to lynch today,
like,
the people I want to lynch today are Eric and Storzerk.
What about Ryan? Why aren't we killing Ryan?
Why would you kill me? My play has been completely towny. Absolutely not.
There we go.
You know what I think it is. I think the last
I
two
think
are.
it's
I think the last two are
Ryu
Captain.
still.
I think it's Captain and Joey. Personally,
You were so wrong. And it might be Captain, but you're definitely wrong on me.
And
I
think
still
that's
it's Store Ryu.
I think that's exactly what Pope had said the first time, and everybody thought he was stupid. But like I'm telling you, I think that's what it was.
Me and Captain were like going at each other yesterday.
Mafia have never gone after each other ever.
And I honestly didn't read him down. Oh no, it might coincide with your read, but I still don't really give a shit.
I still think it's probably Store Ryu.
One thing I know for sure is that.
Can you tell me like why you think I'm Mafia?
Well, because he didn't vote on Brian. That's one. And two.
And you think Brian's Mafia? Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty strongly convinced that Brian's Mafia. So.
Would it be really stupid to not vote on him the second time?
Nope. I don't think he's. I thought he was down. I'm not going to vote on him.
No. I'm saying if Joey was actually Mafia, wouldn't it be really dumb to not vote on him the second time?
No, why?
I could use that to meta.
He didn't
like,
pass
oh,
the first time. He didn't pass the second. Like that vote was so rushed. If you were Mafia, you could easily say, "Oh, well, I got confused. Like this went too quickly." Like
I was confused. It went too quickly.
No, but Eric, you're the one who's in here like self-therapy about how obvious it is we have to lynch Brian no matter what. You're all spoken about it. We do it.
No. The first day we had no time left. The second day we had time left. We could have lynched somebody else.
Okay. So I just want to say Brian was not scummy. I'm not reading scummy. I'm not going to vote on him ever. I don't read scummy.
Let me explain something.
I know.
Let me. Yeah. Go ahead.
For your story to work. Yeah. So, for your story to work, you're saying Brian was mainly Mafia because the vote didn't get pushed over from day one, right? Well, it was the last vote of the day.
Among other things, usually when votes are low, especially on a mandatory lynch, to me that signals Mafia based on the voting.
There were 5 votes out of the necessary 7 to lynch Brian.
Yeah.
And out of all the people who didn't vote, Joey is the only person who could be Mafia. So right, how does your logic hold up? For Brian to have gotten lynched there, it's not that Mafia wasn't pushing it over. It was that town wasn't pushing it over.
Are you telling me that it was? Did you vote for Brian?
On day 1, yeah, I did.
Okay, so are you telling me that it's confusing to you that in a vote that is almost a mandatory lynch, one Mafia voted and one didn't vote for a fellow Mafia team?
Let's talk about how these votes. Let's talk about how these votes got pushed over.
What game am I playing here?
The votes got pushed over because basically what happened was Pope was the linchpin to the confirmed towns. Pope was the person who said, "Let's go on this," and then the rest of the confirmed towns kind of fell in line. As far as what it looked like to me.
I don't agree with that. I forwarded it. I mean,
I'm talking about day 1.
Well,
I'm talking about day 1.
What sticks out in my head was Pope saying, "Do it," or whatever he said when it was going through. It just seemed really.
I didn't hear that.
Eric's logic is boiling down. Town didn't push it over. He has to be Mafia, and that doesn't work.
I think it's Store Ryu.
Dude, I'm telling you, dude.
Hey, Joey,
you're right about Store.
That's
you're
fine.
right about
Let's kill
Store.
Ryu.
Eric. I'm gonna make this game real easy for you, okay? I'm Town. There you go.
Bill.
Why are you appealing to a guy who's not clear?
What?
What?
I want to hear your reads for a second.
I want to kill Ryuzilla. I want to kill Storzerk. One of them dies, I'm happy. Both of them die, I'm even more happier. I'm pretty sure that both of them die, the game is over.
No.
I'm definitely
no.
You're wrong.
Well, yeah, he has to be wrong. I mean, Phil, think about it. I pushed on Ryu yesterday.
You did?
Yes.
No, you want to
Great. I don't remember you saying anything
I need to
yesterday.
talk to Joey for a second.
Yes.
Yo, what's up?
Okay, so can you tell me what made you change your mind on David? He went from town to Mafia for you.
No, he went to Mafia to town near the end. I mean, I honestly
You
switched
meant
on
your
reading
final
David.
3 yesterday when I asked for your 3.
What? Yes, and then
No,
after
I
that
pushed on
happened, I was
Ryu,
starting to read
Brian,
more
and
town.
David, that's my
So
lynches.
the reason I was reading, so it was more like I was just crossing people off the list, and David was like playing still kind of weirdly, and the main thing was that he was attacking my town reads and not doing anything about my Mafia reads, and that's why I was kind of reading him scummy at that point. But then, if you remember later on, I started to think like maybe he's confused town, because then he was attacking pretty much everyone, which included my Mafia reads. So now I was starting to read him more town after that. Do I think there's 3 Mafia? I don't have a fucking idea. But I'm reading Store and Ryu pretty Mafia, so I think David might have been a right shot.
Hey Phil.
I don't know if Captain reconsiders this much on me and starts defending me.
I've had Eric's super talent for me. Like, he's really talented. I've had 2 really talent. For me, it's between Captain, Store, and Ryan. And I think that those are the lynches, but I think that Captain should go to the back of the list.
Wait, Phil.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at.
Hold on, I'm not there though. I got a problem.
We
I got a problem
don't
with
have
that.
much time to be talking. Can we get a formal going?
No, that's a problem.
Ryan.
I'm in a formal store.
No.
Formal store, is there a second? We have a second. Store Zerg has been formal.
No, Mike.
Your
talk.
defense, Store Zerg?
Yeah, I want to point something out first.
Go ahead.
Yesterday, Ryan was bringing up problems with how Store is playing, saying that Store usually has that exciting glimmer and he's lost it. And Ryan's been saying that for 2 days. So if it is true that it's Ryan and Store, he's been busting him from the beginning of the game.
On the contrary, on day one, Ryan said that Store Zerg and Captain were his top town reads.
Yeah, but he changed.
That's why I criticized Ryan.
Oh my God! I changed a read. Are you kidding?
Mike, I just want to make something clear now. Like,
who's the formal one?
We have quite a few confirmed
Who
right now.
seconded me?
And then I did.
Okay.
Let's go. So, Store, I will give my accusation. Okay, so
sure, go ahead.
On day 1, when the game first started, you were the old Store Zerg. You were very excitable. You were very ready to play. Like, you just have that, like, whatever. I don't even know what to call it. And as the days went on, you faded into the background. And when you do that, it's very scary, and you're very Mafia when that happens. That's why I changed my read. It's very simple.
Okay. Anybody else?
I mean, I noticed that you were pushing Hop on day 1, which is like a pretty easy thing. So I was jumping on him, there was pressure on him, and then when it faded, you stopped talking.
Did I continue pushing on Hoppa, Mike? Did I?
Did you what?
Did I continue pushing on Hoppa?
You pushed a lot harder than I did. I mean, I was able to like. Hey,
did I continue pushing on Hoppa? That is the question, and the answer is no. I did not continue.
You're asking me if you stopped.
A dumb choice for your Mafia.
I don't know.
I pushed on Phil very hard.
Well,
I got good results from that vote.
What were your results from that vote?
Well, it confirmed to me that you were town, so that was great. You gave me potential.
What?
What, Phil?
How did the votes confirm me as town? This is before.
How did the votes confirm you as town?
This is before Pope checked me.
Yes, this is before Pope checked you.
Yeah,
you felt town on your defense. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, you felt town on your defense. I didn't vote you. The results came through. Okay, and I was really pushing for you to push a vote yesterday, or not yesterday, but on day 1. But you didn't get to. I don't remember who ended up pushing the final formal, but I was very insistent that we get formaling done. And day 2 happens. We have confirmed people to lead. I was comfortable with the setting. I didn't feel the need to speak up that much. Now, I did point out how Ryuzilla changed, and he has a story that explains himself right now. I don't buy it. I still think we need to be going on Ryuzilla. I had my 3 yesterday. I said Ryuzilla, David, and Brian. Okay? Like, I don't know what you want from me, but you're not lynching me today because I'm Talon, and we need to be going for Mafia.
I think that it needs to be Ryan today.
I would much rather let Ryan Store.
Okay,
let's go.
Absolutely not.
Would you like to continue the formal?
I would.
Ryan, push the vote.
So, Store, here's what I want to say to you. Why is your scum read on Brian if your biggest scum read is on me and I'm the one hardest pushing on Brian?
Well, other than me,
like, you guys don't have to be in the same circles. You're just.
I understand, but think about my play style.
Guys, this doesn't add up. Ryan is not going to bust somebody that hard if they're on the same team.
Think about how I play.
Okay, Eric.
This is All-Star Mafia. This is baby.
That's fine. If there's one Mafia out of the 2, that's still pretty good.
Hey, how hard does Eric bust?
Never.
Is that true?
I don't think that this is Eric.
I will only.
This is Eric's Mafia. I think.
I will only bust a Mafia if I am sure they're going down. I'm not going to initiate it out of the blue when there's no discussion on the person.
Okay, so that's a good reason to you would have
This is about me. Okay, this is about me. Ryan, if anybody else has any questions, I'd rather this get pushed to vote. Reason being is Ryan is not going to resend, and we need to get another formal on him today.
If the rest of town feels like this is not a good lynch, I don't want to vote and give you immunity. I'd rather keep talking about it because the way that it feels right now, it doesn't feel like it's going to pass.
Push to vote.
I will rescind. I want to talk to the rest of town.
Okay,
Formal
good.
has been
Can we
rescinded.
formal on Ryan? We really don't have that much time. We have like
How much time do we
3
have?
minutes, I'm assuming.
I don't think
We have
Ryan's
9 minutes remaining.
We have 9 minutes.
9? Oh,
9
Yeah.
minutes remaining.
my
So
bad.
I
We
just
have a lot
wanted.
more time than I thought.
All right, so I want to address questions from town, why you think it's not Store, why you think it's me. I don't want to give Store immunity because if we vote him and it goes, he's got immunity for this round, so obviously
I'm
gonna
not
push
sure
that.
about Store, but the interaction between you and Brian strongly suggests that there was a mafia between you two, and I'm starting to believe more and more that Brian was down.
Okay, I disagree with that. I think we got a Mafia in, Brian.
That's just unlikely is the problem.
I have no idea what's happening.
Joey, I think
This is very
that
weird.
this is a Ryan game, and I think that he's going to prove that this
So
is a
that,
Ryan
like, but
game.
who's with Ryan?
Possible
Okay.
Ryan is the last
Everyone, so everyone has had interactions with
I
like trying to
think
kill Ryan.
would bust his partners to
Who?
prove a point that he could win this today.
Okay, but
All right.
So if you don't think
Maybe
if you don't think
not
Stores
Hey,
is
guys,
Mafia,
let me simplify this game for you.
Finish
If
what
you-
I was saying.
Okay, yeah.
I strongly believe that David was Mafia. I could be wrong, and I hope that I'm not. I strongly believe that he was. I'm not sure on Brian anymore. But if they were both Mafia, I think that that's something that Ryan would do.
I don't think they were both mafia.
well, I think
don't
unless
either,
Okay.
but I
unless
think that David.
so unless Eric is Mafia from my POV, no matter who we kill, unless like besides me or Eric, because I strongly believe Eric is town, like the game will go on. But I really still thought that Store was the best one.
Ryan tends to push people of his own Mafia buddies when he thinks that there's really no choice. And
Correct. And
one
what,
could assume that
another thing
that
that I
game-
do is go after people who I feel like are weak. And honestly, Storzerg, of the remaining town who are not confirmed, I don't think you're weak. I want to address Boone. Boone, yes, I titled this All-Star Mafia, but I'm playing the same Mafia that I always play. The only thing All-Star about it is the... I'm sorry? No.
Playing the same Mafia that you
No,
always play.
there was
She's
no
laughing.
slip. She's twisting my words. I'm playing the same way that I always play as town. I'm not switching my game up.
I understand. I think you're Mafia.
Okay, I respect that. I'm not.
I don't think that Ryan's mafia.
Phil, I'm looking at you to help a little bit. You know more about this guys than I do.
You're either really wrong or you're with him.
Me?
I
Yeah.
want to lynch Ryan.
Hey Phil, you want to know my other town tell on you on day one? You didn't fake Clay.
That's not Phil.
No, Phil, come on, Phil.
All
Come
right.
on, say your call.
We've
I
talked
think
about
that Ryan's
this.
the lynch today.
Wait, I have one more
and
question.
I think here's my other thing is, like, I do have a scummy read on him. One of the confirms is going to die tonight. I think that the farther in we go, the harder it's going to be to actually. He's a really good talker. I think that I've caught something already, and I think that he's Mafia. I think that the fact that he jumped all over Storzerg when I said that it was between the two of them, kind of, I just
Like
think
he was
I
already
think he's a
pushing
lynch.
on me yesterday. Like
Storm.
he changed his opinion yesterday on me.
So whenever you're like, Phil, how does it feel to be wrong? Because that's something you do as Mafia.
I remember that too. Is that what he does?
I can't confirm that is something I do as Mafia.
I can confirm it.
Well, I guess you're gonna have new data to enter because I did that as town this game. So
And I think one more important thing, just the last important thing. Why are Eric, Ryan, Store, and Joey all comfortable not trying to put any blame on Captain right now?
Me?
I'm not.
I said
Yeah.
Captain and Joey are the last two mafia.
Can you not speak up about it? Like,
If you guys want to formal me, can you quickly formal
Mike,
me
the
because
deal
I
is
don't want
with
to
Eric,
run out of
maybe,
time.
Maybe Eric is pocketing me. I
Is
don't
there a
know
second
right
on
now.
formaling Ryan? We have a formal.
Second.
All right,
Okay.
there's a formal on Ryan.
Let's hear accusation and I'll go.
Accusations first.
Okay. I've pretty much already given it. I think that the way that you've played this game is very indicative of your Mafia play, only because you've been very laid back until you needed to be, and then you come out and you're super strong and you're forthcoming with information, but mostly only when asked or when questioned. And normally you sit back a lot and you think about the game, and then you come out with things without having to be asked to. And you seem you seem a lot more town during those moments, and I'm just not getting that from you. I'm getting a very defense. Like, I think that you're right now, like, we're either gonna win with you or there's one. I don't think that there's three right now, and I think that you bust your partners. At least one of them.
Okay. So let's examine the way that I usually play Mafia. I play Mafia through the path of least resistance. I always sit back unless I need to. If I'm Mafia, I always do things like go after, maybe not the lowest hanging fruit, but a low hanging fruit, low-ish. I do things like that. I make plays. That's not been my play this time. I'm not changing anything up because I changed the title of the show or it's a new cast or whatever. I'm playing my typical town. I'm going after the people that I think are Mafia. I'm going after them passionately. I don't think anybody was asking me about Brian or Storzerg. I've been going out after them on my own because that's who I genuinely feel are the Mafia. So I feel like if you think that I'm playing differently or playing my Mafia game or switching something up because it's a show, you're wrong on that account. Now, when
Who do you think is the third?
If I think it's 3, then it's probably Storzerg.
Storzerg, Brian, and who's the other?
Storzerg, Brian, and probably Joey.
Can I just point another thing out? I didn't want to say this, but I think that this is going to help people vote on you. I almost don't want to give this. Okay, so whenever you're town and you're formaled, there's something very specific that you say every single time, and you haven't said it, and it.
You don't have to say it. I mean, we know that you're town, so you don't have to say it.
I don't want to say it. I'm just really sure that I caught it, and so
you
that's
caught. You're saying you caught that I didn't say it?
I want to know because I feel bad for Ryan right now.
No, I disagree with your read. Whatever it is, like, it really doesn't matter to me what the read is because you're wrong about it. So it's a null for me. The only thing I'm concerned about is that town will believe that. I mean, you're being kind of cryptic about a read, and that maybe people will want to go with that, and that concerns me. But you're wrong about the actual
There's a
text.
couple of reasons why I don't want to give it. Because if for whatever reason I'm wrong, I don't want other people using it in another game because that stuff gets taken out of context all the time. Second, because I don't want you to know what it is if I'm right, because I don't want you to change
I
it up.
respect you not wanting to give away a read, so that's fine. We only have 2 minutes, and I really need another formal to come down. I don't need this to be time, but I need to plead with you guys. I am Vanilla Town. Do not lynch me. You will be one day closer to death if you do. I think it's Storzerg, and probably Joey is the second. That's it.
Would you like to continue the formal?
No, I would like to vote now.
I would like to say something in Ryan's defense. I have a town read on him just based on the way he's acting, his demeanor, and his general calm. Okay, and I also believe that Brian was Mafia, and he voted on him twice. So I don't understand where we're going with this. I would prefer to vote on the 2 people that I have stated as are most likely Mafia.
So, can I ask you something?
I understand that I'm unconfirmed, but you guys are putting me in your town circle. So I feel like my opinion is somewhat worth.
Can I ask you a hypothetical question, Eric?
Yeah.
So, let's say for some reason we knew Brian was down. Would you still think Ryan was down?
If I knew that Brian was town, would I think that Ryan is town?
Yeah, let's say you were a mortician and you had a town check on
so
Brian.
I understand what you're saying. So based on my reads on him, I would say that he's town. Obviously, I wouldn't give him the benefit of him voting like I voted because I know that I'm town, right? And there are 2 people that didn't vote like I did. So those are the people that I want to go for. So, and the thing about you, and I don't mean to take up time on Ryan's formal to talk about you, but I feel like it's kind of in his defense.
Yeah, can we please vote because I need another formal to come down if I'm not going to die.
This is the final formal. Time is actually up. So are we?
I think we're really throwing this game right here.
Are we continuing the formal, or sorry, pushing the vote, or are we canceling the formal?
Pushing the vote.
All right, we're pushing the vote. With 8 alive, it takes 5 to lynch. We will lynch on vote. 3, 2, 1, vote. There is no lynch.
Thank God.
Hey, that was pretty poor.
And it is now nighttime. Everyone, go to sleep.
Oh my God.
So, well, we're out of time. It's
Oh.
Wow.
Fuck.
All right, everyone, time is up. I'm going to go ahead and need your night actions. Please send them in now. All right, still waiting on some night actions to come in. Hope everyone is enjoying the show. I see a lot of people in here from TL Mafia forums. Don't quite feel like shamelessly plugging today, but take that for what it is.
Team Liquid, best forum Mafia games out there.
There, someone else did it for me. I'm loving the graveyard chat that we have going on. A lot of really good stuff in there. Shout out to those guys who are unable to speak, unable to talk. You saw just one of them now. It's pretty fun. Just waiting on one last thing to come in. While we're waiting, I'm just going to play with this deck of cards. Alrighty, it is now, I believe, day 4. Everyone may wake up. Except for the man who spent a little bit too much time changing his scarf. He was caught a little bit. Our lovely character Phil was caught out buying a scarf when one should not buy a scarf, where the gangs roam free. But who knows?
Okay,
He died.
safe to
So
assume
the day
only,
began. They started at 9:55.
Two or one are left.
I know for sure that if Ryan is town, that Captain cannot be Mafia. Because he could have pushed that one over.
He didn't hammer.
Well, he could have pushed that vote over.
Yeah, okay, hammer.
It's either that those two are Mafia together, or it's Joey and Storzer.
I
wanted to kill Storzer.
Get another
It's
formal.
really weird that he didn't get pushed over, considering that was the last lynch of the day.
Well, dude, I didn't know that. Like, I thought
He said it 3 times. He said it 3 times.
I thought we
asked
voted on that
specifically.
well early. Like,
Nope, he said it 3 times.
Who are the people that voted? Who are the people that voted?
And
There's 4
Philip.
people.
And Philip.
I think your Mafia are in there probably.
I disagree.
You say you have to think it's me and Store.
I think it's
No,
I
Unless
think
you
it's
think there's
Store.
one left. You think
Wait,
unless
wait,
you think
wait.
it's Brian and David were both Mafia together.
wait, Captain didn't vote.
No,
Captain,
he
why'd you
didn't.
raise your hand? Captain, why'd you raise your hand? You didn't vote.
I didn't raise my hand.
Oh,
I
I thought
didn't
you raised
vote.
your hand.
I already said I did
Me,
not vote.
Boone.
Yeah.
The votes were me, Boone, Store, and Phil.
Right. Yeah.
So, yep.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, to me, I think it's.
all over Joey, Eric.
Should I? I don't know.
You were all over him yesterday, and he voted on somebody that you thought was town.
Well, no, now Eric seems to believe that I am Mafia because Captain can't be. He says if Brian is town,
We're at the point. We're at the point where I have to put a team together. Okay, I can't just say one person's Mafia without looking at the totality of the situation. So if Joey's Mafia, who's with him? Because Captain and Ryan are on the same team, whether it's town or Mafia. That's assured to me. Right?
We'll have to make one note that we are actually at the 20
I don't
minute
necessarily agree with that, Eric. Like if Store
Unless,
is Mafia,
wait, maybe if Ryan is Mafia and Captain like didn't vote as town,
yes,
possibly. But
Yes.
then that would mean that two people. But that would mean that would mean that either one or you or Store or Mafia.
Yes, well, I still think Store's Mafia, and like if you look at how the day was, like what would it look like? So what
I don't think Store's Mafia.
Absolutely, Ryan's Mafia. We missed him yesterday.
Do you think it's
Eric's
Ryan
playing,
and Captain?
I think that it's Captain. I think that Eric is super misled and he's being pocketed by Ryan.
Mike, you need to
no, you're
provide.
wrong.
I would like you to provide some more input into this game. In particular, like I know you're cleared right now, but still, like you didn't vote yesterday, and it was the last lynch. Like, why not? Like you just have.
Partly because I was concerned that there were still 3 live wolves. Sorry, Mafia, and the problem would be they would vote there, kill somebody, have a second kill at night.
I just,
we'd have a real problem.
I realize it was game over regardless. Then,
Yes.
Well, no, because
we needed to kill somebody.
It was Lilo, not Milo. So it was game over if we didn't lynch and there was 3.
I just want to ask a question. What's the point in having confirmed towns if like the town's not even going to listen to them?
We listen. Well, I listened.
Not really. I mean,
No, but that's my whole point. Like if Eric, if you were confirmed right now,
I am confirmed to myself.
and you felt, I understand that, but I'm saying if you were confirmed to everybody,
yeah,
and you felt like you had such a strong read on somebody and people didn't vote on it, how would you feel? Like I feel right now that people that aren't confirmed are gonna screw this game over, and we're just gonna like Mike and I are both dead in the next night.
No.
And then there's gonna
Oh, we didn't sleep. Oh no,
So,
we slept.
Boone, consider
we have unconfirmed final 3.
to talk to your point.
You would never have slept in that situation.
Yes, that's why, and we slept.
Which situation?
We just slept yesterday. We didn't.
We shouldn't have slept.
Okay,
Yes.
I know. I agree. We should have killed Ryu.
Boone, to talk to your point about
I can
listening to
berate
the
Eric.
confirm, one of the most confirmed people in this whole game is Pope, and the fact that Pope was with me on my read against Brian, and the fact that I don't bus Mafia as Mafia should be like a really obvious thing to you.
No,
Yeah,
Pope
the
was
biggest
here for
problem-
one day. Like, Pope hasn't been in the game for as long, so he doesn't have as like reads have to change throughout the game. If they don't change, like that's very
His
weird.
read
Like,
did
you have
change.
to be able to adapt.
His read
I
did
understand
change.
that, but that doesn't mean it wouldn't have changed again.
But what you're saying is to just carte blanche follow the confirmed town.
No, I'm saying you need to listen to the like it's like this town's gonna do whatever they want to do. That's very obvious at this point. I'm pretty sure that it's between you, Captain, and Eric. Okay, Storzerg and Joey are very town to me, and that's because like I've read them town for a while now. But their vote on you, and I feel very strongly about you. Just
Here,
kind
Boone,
of.
Boone. Can you just explain to me, because I don't know Store that well, like what is it you're seeing from Store that's making you think that he's probably
Well,
town?
I said his defense and when he was formaled is what swayed me. Because I had actually called him Mafia a few times, but his defense swayed me because his confidence and the way that he presents himself when he's defending, you can easily read what his alignment is, and he was town.
Okay.
I mean, that's fine, but I'm not finding it particularly easy to read him town. It seems to me like he gets a lot
I
of pressure.
understand
He gets,
that, but you haven't played with him before.
I know, but it doesn't help me to hear you say that it's really obvious because I can't see what you're talking about. What I can see though is that when he gets pressure, he stops. He talks and justifies things, and then when he gets there's no more pressure, he doesn't say anything ever again.
Okay, take day one. I wasn't pressured really at all day one, and I was very vocal. I was very pushy on what I wanted to happen. Yes, things changed because 4 towns were outed on day 2. Like there really is less of a point for me to be directing town at that point.
No, but the best thing you can possibly do there is help us clear you, though. I mean, we got like one more, we win the game every single time.
Okay, well, I thought it did a pretty good job of that day 1. So I'm sorry I fell off then.
No, on day 1, you actually. I mean, I'm guilty of this too, but you pushed Papa and then you pushed.
Okay, you have to understand. Just because I push people,
Mike, I want to ask you.
It doesn't mean.
Yeah.
Like alignment indicative. Oh, I pushed Hoppa died. Like
I don't know, man. Like,
stop
you're getting
pushing Hoppa.
frustrated with me, and all I want to do is have a reason to clear you, just to win the game. But you're getting mad.
I cleared Phil in my eyes. Like I know it means less to you, like with how that went down, but like the way I read Phil is Phil likes to sit back. He likes to not do anything, and I need to push Phil. I need him to speak because I like generally what he has to say, and I pushed really hard on him because I wasn't sure what was going on with him. And the fact that he ended up going to a vote and not claiming anything that meant so much to me because generally when he's Mafia, he just fake claims right there. Like he just fakes. Like he's just like, okay, I'm betting. The fact that he went into it and he presented a really good defense, and we look at who voted on him, it meant so much to me. I didn't explain it afterwards, but it really meant a lot. And that confirmed him to me at that point. And I was fine, and I was pushing for him to push.
Okay, so here's what I want to ask you. I want to ask you if you felt like, do you feel like Phil led more yesterday than I did?
No,
So why is he dead?
because he's more known than I am, and we're the two peak people. So you just flip the two of them.
No. He's dead because Ryan can talk over me and people will listen. Ryan didn't get lynched yesterday because he can overtalk me. If Phil would have done what I did yesterday, there's no way that you wouldn't have voted. Or there's no way, like, Ryan
Well, that's not true at all. I mean, if there's anybody listening to it
Hold on, Captain, why didn't you vote for Ryan yesterday?
Okay, I've been meaning to talk about that. So the reason I didn't vote for Ryan there, first of all, I thought it wasn't the final lynch. I thought we would get another formal, and I would have liked that formal to be on you, Storzer. I read you very down day one, and I read you very Mafia the rest of the game. Your day one play was, to me, was very like down Storzer, and I felt like you would have been the better lynch. The thing with Ryan is, as Ryan, like Eric, is basing a lot of his logic on the fact that he thinks Brian was Mafia, and he's basing almost all his reads and plays on that. And while that concerns me, it also means that because
if you would have known that would have been the last lynch, would you have voted?
Yes.
And, it's really unfortunate that we have people that were kind of, I guess two non-confirmed counts that kind of, threw the ball in that point. And I guess a little bit on you, Mike, in the sense that
I'm not sure that Ryan's the best vote. Captain.
We could look back at it and say that we actually saved the game there. If it turns out that Ryan is talented.
Because there wasn't 3 Mafia.
Threw the game away.
Well, now we don't have a confirmed.
Okay, so it happened. We can discuss it after the game. Let's go to Mike's question.
So, Captain, your conclusion is that David is absolutely a wolf no matter what. Sorry, a Mafia no matter what, right?
I think my conclusion is that it's more. Well, I was reading David 3 Mafia. But if we have only killed one Mafia, I would say it's more likely that it was Dave than it was Brian.
When were you reading him as Mafia?
From day one.
Okay, that's a lie. On day one, I have a note here that you were saying that David was a villager, and you said it right after your argument about how great this special movie was.
That's wrong. It's
not wrong. I would have written it.
I do think there might be a connection between Captain.
Okay, so
10 minutes remaining in the day, by the way.
I called David Mafia day one. You can call me a liar.
Mod, what did you say? Mod, what did Mod say?
Everyone, wait for a second. We have 10 minutes remaining in the day.
Thank you.
So I just want to say, I don't know how much this means to the unconfirmed, but I think it means a fair amount of Boone because I don't think I've fooled Boone for about a month now. So she clearly knows I'm town. So if we can add one more town to our me, Mike, Boone, then it's auto. And I think it might be a good route to go down.
Boone, you agree to this now, right?
All right, so I want to speak up about what I think is going on here. So, Mike, you were asking earlier about Boone telling you about Storzerg. Let me tell you my opinion of him. Stor was brought on this show to be a hammer. Storzerg has made more people rage quit in this game than everybody combined. Storzerg will do dirty tricks to make rolls come out. He wants his way to happen as a town. He will make his way happen. And that just has not happened today in this whole game at all. This is Storzerg's Mafia play. It's very clear to me. Storzerg he's very, very hammer oriented, and I'm sorry, Boone, but I respect my reads more than your read.
Mafia, so you might be correct in that sense.
I don't know. I got a note here that the captain had David as a villager, a strong villager read at some point in this game, and I wouldn't have written it if that didn't happen. And he just said
it didn't happen. You're wrong. You can bring it up again and again.
I cannot wait to watch the replay.
We're gonna throw this comment out. We're gonna throw this comment out. Reason being is, Captain feels very strongly at this point. Okay, now it's not alignment indicative. with him feeling this way. Okay, it's not a line indictment. Okay.
I said, and he's misphrasing.
Okay.
I had
Mike,
David and Brian as the two people I was pushing on day one. He's saying, "Oh, yeah, just spoke down
the
me."
rage that
No, I
Captain
did.
is
I
showing
did
right now
this.
isn't
No, you
line
spoke down me.
indicative. It's better to talk about something that is more conclusive. And I think the
I
more
tried to
conclusive
do it,
thing
and then I
is
got
how the voting
interrupted.
happened
Oh
yesterday.
God.
If we just had Captain talk the whole game, our ratings would go up.
Oh my god. Okay, so I'm gonna talk because I tried this before Ryan talked. Boone, you do agree that Joey is Mafia, right? That Joey is Town, right?
Yes.
Because it would have been more active and pushy if he was Mafia. So Joey is clearly Town here. So what does that tell you about other people?
Eric's crazy, man.
We need to be pushing formals right now.
Need to find a town for me to buddy up with.
Joey! Come on! Boone already said it.
Yeah, but if I find one more town, then I have Otto. You understand?
We have Otto.
I need a town.
4 to 3.
I have a town.
I just want to make sure that if it comes down to it, whoever's left from the confirms, you have to put me on your confirm list.
No, fuck that.
Eric, it might be okay because I'm
like-
feeling Ryan and Captain.
Well, whatever it is, I need to be on the confirm list at the end.
Okay, so what's the point in having a confirm list if things aren't going to get done? Like, I'm so
All
frustrated at
right,
this
Boone,
point.
you lead the way. Go for it.
I tried
Boone
yesterday.
should not be the one leading the race. Her reads are wrong. Her reads are wrong.
I formal Ryan.
Well, you have to say
Second
that.
Ryan.
Okay, we're going to try this again. I do not think that I'm wrong. I think that I have a pretty good read on you. I think that you're playing this game to win, and I appreciate that. But I'm not willing to be fooled because you can out-talk me and that you're better at explaining things. I am hoping that Town will appreciate what I'm trying to do, even though I'm not as good at it. I'm trying to get better at leading Town. I'm not a very good leader when it comes to this game, but I feel very strongly that you are Mafia. I'm not typically wrong on you. I think whenever you're Town, you've actually pointed this out a couple of times that there's not a lot of people that read you Town when you're Town. And I think you've pointed out that I'm one of those people that has actually done that and stood up for you and recognized that you're Town. I'm not getting that this game. And so I would like to lynch you.
Okay, so let me address this. When I play on Daily Mafia, and you are no exclusion to what I'm about to say, you guys like to speak in absolutes and think that your reads are, I don't want to say infallible, but 90% plus. And the many times that I have gone along with that logic, it has not treated me well better than 50% of the time, which is slightly better than random. So I understand that you feel like you have a read on me and this is your fail-safe read on me, but you're wrong about it. Your read is wrong, and I'm sorry, but because your read is only on me and you feel like the people that I think are Mafia are Town, I feel like your reads are wrong. I feel like just because you're confirmed, you shouldn't be the only one leading, because confirmed Town can have bad reads. That's how I feel.
Absolutely agree with that.
We have less than 5 minutes remaining.
Okay.
When it comes to absolutes, I'm just going to interject for a second. When it comes to absolutes, I'm not saying anything is absolute, and that's one of the reasons why I'm not giving this specific read on you, because I've had people use reads against me that are wrong in other games, and that's why I'm not saying it's an absolute. I've actually said if I'm wrong, then I don't want to give it for that specific reason, but I don't think that I'm wrong. I hope that I'm not wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you're basically saying you have a soul read here, right? Like you're so confident that you know him well enough that this is the time where he's been behaving incorrectly compared to how you'd expect him to be.
This whole game is about reading people and determining who you think is Mafia and lynching them, and that's
No, I
what
know
I'm
that.
doing.
I know, but what you're saying, I'm trying to get a beat on what you're trying to say. What you're trying to say is this read sort of is independent of sort of like a logical argument or something. You know him well enough that you know that he's
I
behaving
don't know
differently.
him well enough, but I'm not getting the Town vibe that I've ever gotten from him before. I'm getting something completely different. I've been tricked by him a couple of times, and this is the feeling that I've gotten in those instances, but I believed him.
Okay, I respect that.
I was on the other side, and I believed him. And I could be 100% wrong right now, and I apologize if I am, but I do not feel like I'm wrong.
I respect that.
So since this is my formal, I want to finish talking, and I want to leave room for another formal because I don't want this to be the last one of the day. As I said, I think the complete opposite of Boone. I think it's Store and Joey. I've been very clear about Store. I switched my read on him from day 1 to day 2 because Storzerg switched his play, and that is pretty much the main reason. It had nothing to do with me flip-flopping or being left out of options. There are plenty of other people. Storzerg is not playing Town Storzerg. I think you need to either vote on me and fail it or rescind off me. Storzerg should be the lynch today.
So wait, the only reason you think I'm Mafia is because the other two didn't hammer?
I'm sorry? No. I think that each read should be independent of how each person traditionally plays.
I'm having a hard time accepting that you thought that there were plenty of options left on a day where 4 people were confirmed all of a sudden.
I mean, I understand that, but there were, 5 or 6 unconfirmed towns? And so of those people, Storzerg isn't somebody I would just randomly go on, or Storzerg is a tough guy to lynch, as you guys showed yesterday. And he's not somebody I randomly go on. As I said, traditionally my Mafia play is I go for low-ish hanging fruit, and Storzerg is not that.
Does it bother you that you're the only person that seems to think, well, I guess Eric seems to think that Joey's a good Mafia candidate, but that's like the 5th or 6th time you two have agreed with each other. Right?
Joey is a process of elimination kill or vote. I'm really not that sold on Joey, but he's just, if I have to pick 3, it's Joey.
You have to understand from Ryan's perspective, if he is Town, 2 people didn't vote to kill him that could have pushed it over. So from his perspective, he knows if he's Town who the last 2 Mafia are. For 100% sure.
I understand that.
Who would you have who would you have picked out as low-hanging fruit on day 2?
Who was left alive? I mean, I really don't want to insult anybody, but probably Joey.
Oh! Okay. But maybe pretty much myself, Joey, Captain, and Eric as the unconfirmed. I believe that is all that was there. Yes? Yeah. So
it's hard for me to remember back that far, but I'll take your word for it.
We have 1 minute remaining in the day, everyone.
Okay, vote.
Yeah.
Push the vote. All right.
All right, we'll
I am not
vote
Mafia.
on vote in 3, 2, 1. Vote.
My God.
All right, that is a lynch. Everyone, please go to sleep. Alrighty. Crossing the names off. Keeping it to the last minute. All right. Wait just a little bit for all the actions to come in. All right. Will everyone please wake up to the new day? Everyone except for Boone, who was unfortunately trying to, get her car started. She wanted to get out of there, right? There was some serious stuff going down in the town. No time, got to escape, and her car blew up. It's just too bad. Let the day begin. Day begins at X16, and there are, I believe, 20 minutes in the day. Begin.
Okay.
Joey, how many Mafia do you think are left?
I think Ryan was Mafia, so I think 1.
Who was the other Mafia that we killed?
I think David might have been Mafia.
So you think that the Vigi correctly shot 1 out of...
I hope so. I mean, I still don't... So it still doesn't really matter to me. Well, okay.
Okay, well,
it definitely wasn't
some
3.
between Ryan and
I just want to get a
David.
town. Like,
100%.
Jesus.
So, yeah. So
I think you're like the only one who doesn't think I'm Town here, right, Eric?
Well, the thing is, I don't want to be locked on anybody right now because anybody of you could be Mafia.
I understand. I just want to like, I don't know. So for me as a Mafia player, I don't really like to. I think you shouldn't really be looking at like the big picture, because usually like none of that really makes sense. People will do crazy shit and fuck you up, and so I really like to look at like the little things that people did. And right now I'm leaning towards like Eric being my most town, because like the way you were like crying at Boone to get you confirmed town, I don't know if he would do that as Mafia.
I think you're trying to pocket me, bro.
I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that at all.
Really? That was like that's so risky.
So
That doesn't
the
feel.
only
That doesn't
pair
feel.
I'm
Real.
worried about, if there's a possible pair, is a pair of Joey and Eric.
Well, it's
I
not
think
me.
there's only one left, and I think that one is Captain. I think it is very likely the Mafia were David, Ryan, and Captain, or possibly Brian, David, and Captain.
So,
yeah, like, that's why it was like so weird. Like,
so the Mafia circle you want to paint by saying that Captain is Mafia is Brian, Ryan, and Captain, right?
That's not what he said.
No,
he said or David,
or
right?
David.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why it was like so weird. Like all the interactions were.
Let me ask you something though. So Storzerk, who do you think were Mafia then? Out of the people we killed?
Out of the people we killed, well, I know there's one between David and Ryan.
No,
And
David and Brian.
David and Brian. Okay.
Because we had one KP 2 nights in a row, or 2 days in a row, right?
Yes. Okay. Okay. So I think for sure Medic died earlier. Only one KP then.
So there has to be one Mafia between David and Brian.
If wait, hold on.
At least one.
Does it
At
confirm,
least,
does
correct.
it
It could be
confirm
two.
Brian?
Yeah.
I think it confirms Brian as Mafia. Brian is Mafia.
Probably.
It should be. I think it's.
Wait, why is this confirmed Brian's Mafia?
No, it's not probably.
I'm hashtag David for Mafia 2014.
No, they still feel double stacked, and David would have.
I feel most sure about David.
Okay, no.
And I feel like
all I know is that David and Brian, there was one Mafia between them guaranteed. I'm inclined to believe that Ryan is Mafia, and my conclusion is Captain. My biggest thing is the interaction yesterday and the voting patterns the day before and the reasonings for the no vote. Eric, I felt you not voting on Ryan when it was the last vote of the day and when we no lynched on that day was very genuine. You seemed very shocked
Who,
at
me?
the end of the day. Like you just seemed
I was pissed.
That was the
like,
last. Like,
yeah,
you
like
actually
I
seemed,
honestly thought that we had one more lynch after that.
Yes.
You seemed shocked, and I'm assuming then you would have pushed on Joey or Captain, but
yes,
I didn't feel the same sense from Captain because I just didn't feel the same. Like his reasoning, like if he is town, I feel he's going to be more vocal and pushing it off of Ryan and pushing it back onto me. Like I didn't feel he was vocal enough, especially when there was a formal on myself. I don't feel he was that vocal on.
Okay. Do you want me to respond, or are you just gonna? Okay. So what I wanted to do was not vote, see how the votes went, and then explain why I thought the vote should have been put on you. I still wanted to see the vote because I felt like it would give some information. And he still was my second lynch for that day, after you. So if he would have died anyway, it wasn't like that big of a disaster for me. If the forum had been on Joey and I thought we were better off lynching you, I would have played differently because I have a strong down read on Joey. I don't have a strong down read on you. I didn't have a strong down read on Ryan. The other point I want to make is I am like 99% convinced that David was Mafia because I am having a lot of difficulty seeing how Brian and Ryan could be Mafia together with the way they not only scum at each other but actually actively pushed on each other really hard at various stages in the game. And I don't think both of them would push each other that hard as Mafia. So I think that between them there was one down.
I don't know how David plays, if he busts it or not, but between David and David went hard on me. He thought that I was clearly Mafia, right? That was his opinion.
Yeah, I have that down.
And I went extremely hard on Brian. Like you can't go any more hard on somebody who really like before I started talking, there wasn't really much suspicion on him. So out of the
50% chance you're wrong anyway.
Say that one more time.
It's like about a 50% chance it doesn't matter anyway because
I'm saying out of those two people, I helped one get lynched strongly, and the other one thought that I was Mafia. So either way, I'm looking pretty good here. If you guys are looking at it from that angle, okay?
Yeah, I want to lynch Sorcerer.
Okay.
It seems fine now.
I 100% want to lynch Sorcerer.
If it continues, but Captain looks the best right now.
Okay, so let me do the Eric thing. I call out Dave and Brian on day one, and I pushed on them both. I was debating between formuling Dave and Brian. On day one, I ended up formuling Brian. I voted on Brian, and during most of the game, those two have been in my Mafia reads. It was only later that I started to reconsider Brian because of the day one vote and the people we had as confirmed town and how it didn't line up, because it meant that it wasn't Mafia not pushing over the vote, it was town not pushing over the vote. So that was what led me to believe that there was a world in which Brian was town instead of Mafia. He was reading Mafia to me, but the vote logic means that he could have been town. Against Ryan, I did end up voting against him yesterday while there would have been room for another formal. That's because him and Store are were my top two lynch yesterday, and Store is still my top lynch right now. Joey, I'm reading really town because I'm not reading him really Mafia, and I know his Mafia play. And I'm reading Eric a lot more town than Sorcerer.
Captain,
I don't think
a correlation between myself and Ryuzilla being Mafia team together, or did you think it was just one between the two?
I don't know. I haven't tried to look for a connection between you and Ryan because that's not how I read either of you.
Okay, well, I'll give you a hint that the correlation between us would be very silly. So,
okay, well,
Mike,
you could have been with Brian.
Please give some input.
Eric, how many Mafia do you think are alive right now?
It's either Captain by himself, or I think it's Joey and Storzerg.
Okay, well, you're in luck, Eric, because I'm not with Joey. So
Joey and Storzerg?
I'm down.
Oh, I've been so crazy this game. I'm with no one, yo. If I'm Mafia, I'm alone.
So the two things I'm noticing right now are that Joey all of a sudden is no longer slouching in his chair. He's like all up in his monitor, like paying really close, like tight attention. He hasn't done that for like an hour. And the other thing is that Eric just said he's not sure if it's one or two, but I'm pretty sure Eric just argued to us that either David or Brian was Mafia, but not both. And I'm pretty sure he thought that. I'm pretty sure he just was telling us that Ryan was not, which would mean there must be two alive right now. It should
Wait, no, you got that wrong. So I was saying that either
he couldn't be with them.
You're right. So
that's what he's saying.
Whoever's Mafia out of those two,
he's not with them.
I have good reason not to be with them.
But
I agree with that.
But doesn't that mean that you think that one of them, but not both of them, are Mafia?
One of them has to be Mafia based on the numbers.
That's fine. But don't you think it's not two?
It could, dude. I don't know. I'm saying just by the way the votes have been going, if there's two left in the game, the only possible thing it can be is Joey. Because I know that I'm town, right?
Same Z's.
And I don't see a connection between Captain and any of the other two. So
no, there could be a connection between Joey and Captain. Captain hasn't been. I don't think Captain's been pushing on Joey at all, really.
No, I'm reading him down.
Captain's been hard defending me since.
Yeah.
Why would you pushing him?
Okay.
I think
he's not lynching his town.
Listen. So I was reading Eric is pretty town like ever since day 2. If there's anyone's like reads in the entire game that I trust the most, it's by far Boone's. She's usually really right, and she said Store was town. So I do believe right now that Captain is the last one.
Well, then you're wrong.
No, I don't think I am.
Hey Joey, did you fool Boone?
No, I didn't. I can't. I have to go figure out what she knows on me.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have 10 minutes remaining in the day.
And Captain, on the first day, this is the thing that I've been remembering about you, and it's the only reason I've wanted to clear you every time I've thought about you. You were nodding the exact second Boone started saying she thought I was town. And it was it was happening before anybody else had said that about me at all, and it was happening like literally as she was speaking, like you had been wanting to say that. And I did see you raise your hand before she said it, like you were about to say the same thing. But that's the only thing about you that's making me feel like you probably are town, because I don't think you would act like that hard that quickly just to trick people into thinking you made a good read on me, who no one even cares about because I'm new. Like,
Okay,
that's the one
so-
bit. And it's like, it means a lot to me because it seemed natural. It seemed like you really were like, yes, that's what I think too.
Okay, so it was what I thought too. You were actually one of the 4 people in my initial, in my 5-second reads, in my reads which I actually made before the kills were announced and during the kills were announced. A lot of my reads, especially on day 1, are from looking at how people are looking when they don't think they're being watched and when they're reacting to stuff without them being the people who everyone is paying attention to. Like, I think that during a formal, it's better to look at someone who is not being formal and not being the accuser, and just to look at someone react to things.
Let's stop talking about the theory. Let's talk about
I'm getting to that. You were one of the people who looks very relaxed, especially for someone who's for who this is the first video Mafia game he's playing. So I had you as my town read like 5 seconds in, and Boone pointing that out, especially because I know Boone in a lot of ways reads people the same way I do. So Boone was one of my initial Mafia reads, but Boone that was the exact moment I started reading Boone down.
There are 5 minutes remaining in the day.
I agreed with the read she had on you, and I had the exact same read. And the way she phrased it just made me feel like she was stunned.
I mean, I believe what he's saying. I do think we should take him off the table today.
No!
I think I'm right. I'm
going to go with the no on this one.
All right,
Are you serial? Who do you want to lynch?
I want to lynch Storsuk.
No, he's not asking you. He's asking Mike.
Well, see, the problem right now is
I want to say it anyway, because I feel strongly about it.
Okay, Mike, please talk.
I don't any longer really agree that Storsuk's a lynch either. I'm starting to get really nervous about you, Joey. And the thing about Eric is that...
God, boys.
Okay, Mike, let me ask you this question. Mike, do you think that there's... Okay, talk about pairs right now. Pairs, twos, okay?
One pair that makes a lot of sense to me is Eric and Ryan.
No. Pairs that are alive right now.
I don't really think there is a pair alive right now.
All right, I know I'm going to say this, and it's going to seem super fucking scummy, but okay, so Mike, you never really played with me or Boone. Boone is, I think she's been wrong on me once in my entire life. I am telling you right now, I'm town.
Okay,
I'm
Joey,
the worst possible person you should fucking kill right now. And I'm telling you, it should probably be Captain. Captain busts every single one of his Mafia partners every single game. That is his play style, okay? I think the fact that he called out Brian and David, and that's a possible team, even makes him more scummier in my eyes.
I don't think Brian and David together is really a possible team.
Of course it's a possibility.
How much time?
We have about, I believe, it's until 36, okay. So 6 minutes.
That hasn't been true for a couple of months, Joey.
Okay, well, I still think...
Yeah, your top two. One of them's Captain, unless you've changed your mind.
I'm not gonna play it safe. Like the safe thing would be to pick one between you and Joey and go with that.
I said two. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
I understand.
So between me and Joey, who would it be then? Or not? Who would it be? But like, if it were today, who?
Joey's been doing a pretty good job pocketing me. So either his read on me is correct or he's Mafia. I still think that you're town. Like I usually read you really well. So
that's why I think Captain is the last
Captain
one.
And Joey, like
I read you both town. I think Captain's the last one. Look at this logic. Wow, much amaze.
So
I could be wrong. I disagree.
I'm reading Eric Town, Boone read Store Town. Therefore, I think it is Captain the last one.
Again, Mike, my biggest thing is the correlation.
I don't have to think anything. I could say I don't believe Boone, or I could say I don't think Eric's Town.
Like my biggest thing, Mike, is the correlation with Ryuzilla and Captain. I do think that there is very likely a pair between those two, and how the vote happened and You know, like,
what correlation?
Like he's like,
I don't
yeah,
agree.
I think Ryan was Mafia, but you know, I wasn't gonna vote for him right then because I wanted to push on Store. Oops, time ran out. Like
I think the most obvious pairing in the game so
correlation.
far would have been Eric and Ryan, who were thinking the same things and pushing the same agenda. Like, I don't want to call it agenda because that's like so presumptive, but pushing the same reads for at
But
least
the big
2
difference
consecutive
is
days.
Eric was shocked that the day ended like that. Like
That's why we should kill Captain.
he made it pretty
God,
clear
you
on
guys
who
are so horrible.
But the thing is,
clear on who he wanted to put.
You got me, Captain. We're
Oh
horrible.
my God.
You
5
convinced
minutes
me.
remaining in the day, everyone, or actually 4 minutes now. 4
Formal
minutes
captain.
remaining.
I second.
We have a second formal captain. Accusations?
I'm sorry that I had to second over confirmed town, but
Well,
I'm never voting captain.
Give me a quick accusation and I'll defend, but keep it short.
I kind of gave my clear accusation is I really think there's a connection between you and Ryuzilla and Mike. You really can't say things like I'm not going to vote him or something like that. Like you're the only confirmed town here. It's fine for you to defend somebody, but to be absolute ahead of time is scary. But
Okay, so that's not relevant to what my alignment is. So I'm going to defend myself. Well, let's go through my play, I guess. Day 1, contrary to what Mike believed, I had David as Mafia read. I also called out Boone and Brian, and I switched on Boone after she talked. One of the reasons being her read on Mike. Her other town reads on Heppa, I agreed on as well. If you're nodding my head when she called Mike Town, you also saw me shaking my head violently when she called Brian Town, because that was a horrible read I felt at that time. I've only started to read Brian as a possible town after I started considering Phil's logic on the votes. Day 1.
Did you vote Phil?
No, I did not vote Phil, and that's not relevant either. The vote on Brian on day 1 meant that if Brian was Mafia, there was at least one Mafia voting on him, and the people not pushing it over were down. So what I thought that what was weird was that Ryan and Eric both strongly got from it that Brian had to be Mafia. I feel like it wasn't as clear-cut of a thing as they portrayed it to be. But throughout the game, I've been reading Eric more down than Ryan, which is why I did push a bit on Ryan, but I've only tried pushing Eric once, just to see his reaction a bit. And I liked the reaction. He felt like a very frustrated town when I called him Mafia. I'm very convinced David is Mafia. I called him Mafia on day 1, and I even explained the play I did both on day 1 and day 2. Is day 1 play of not really pushing anything, but when people like started to talk to a Lynch, like agreeing with them and like saying, yeah, that's a possibility. He could be Mafia, just to see if he could get someone lynched and not really trying anything else. Joey, I've been reading as mostly town. Because as Mafia he's more active. He's been getting more active today, but I still think Store is by far the best lyncher. I think Store is Mafia.
Would you like to continue the form? Oh, sorry. Please finish.
I would lynch Store first, and if the game continues by any miracle, I would lynch Joey. I'm reading Eric more down than Joey.
Would you like to continue the formal?
Yeah, okay, unfortunately we don't have much time, but I guess final words are what? We only need 3 to push us through, and
the thing is, I'm down, and you're very wrong.
Oh, it's so scummy.
Storzik, how sure are you on Joey?
I don't think there's a pair between you two. So
No, I'm asking you, how sure are you on Joey being town?
on town, I'm sure, like it's based on Captain being Mafia. If Captain is Mafia, I'm like 100% sure Joey's town.
Time is almost up. I'll finish with that. I pushed on David, I pushed on Brian. At least one of them was Mafia. I also did end up voting on Ryan final day. I did not do so the first day because I felt like Store was the better lynch. Had I known it was the final formal, I would have voted.
This is final formal, by the way.
So against both dead Mafia, if there's 2 Mafia dead, I've pushed. So I'm not sure what you're doing here. You're wrong.
I don't think Captain's Mafia at all. I really don't.
Is it confirmed that this is the final formal?
Yes, this is the final formal.
Oh my god. Well, you have to vote me, I guess. I hope there's one Mafia, or else we lose. Yeah, I guess vote me because it's the final formal.
All right, push
and
to vote.
I think hard caps are something to discuss for after the game.
All right, push to vote.
I'm getting a
in
time rate on him.
3,
Not
2,
voting him at all.
1.
Oh my god!
How to play a game?
I have to vote. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
otherwise
right.
we're just gonna lose.
There we go. Knight's up. Knight's up. He was lynched. All right. Just got to wait on the knight actions to come in. Still waiting on some actions to come in. Cover just a little bit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please wake up. It is the daytime. We do have one person who will not be waking up. And that person, unfortunately, was competing with the mod for being the most attractive man wearing a suit. So he simply had to die. I'm quite sorry, but that's the way things work. The power of the mod.
Okay, wait, can I just ask the mod what his rules are on immunity? For final
Immunity,
three?
if you have been formaled. Oh, it's final three. Sorry. With the final three,
Why don't
immunity does
you
not
just
apply.
ask Ryan what? Just ask Ryan what he wants. and-
Ryan told me that immunity, I believe, does not apply. Right.
Oh my god, I hate that. That's so dumb.
All right, so the day, it is 39. I believe we have 15 minutes. Let me confirm. Yes, 15 minutes long, hard capped. Please begin.
All right, who's sure that I'm town? Uh-oh.
I will say that the thing with Captain yesterday, with Eric not voting, or not, he did vote eventually, but I did feel it was weird.
Okay, so I don't know if I want to do this.
Dude, Sorcerer, if I don't vote there, we just go to sleep.
know, but you're like, I'm not gonna vote, and then it's like,
Well, dude, like, I mean, what the fuck what are I gonna do? Like, we're just gonna go to sleep, Mike's gonna die, and then we're in the same spot. Like, I had to at least take the chance
At
that I
least
was wrong.
I would have died at night.
no, I'm just saying, like the action seemed very, very weird. All I can say is at this point, we're in final three, and no one's confirmed, and
We can confirm someone though using a crazy plan.
yeah, what's the
Do
plan
you
is
know what
to-
it is? So we formal someone, one person votes and the other person does not, and that will confirm them as town.
We can do that.
Great,
I'd
let's
be
do it.
doing that.
But I will only do it if it confirms me as town.
No, we should talk right now.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying.
So
like,
honestly, this was
something
my
to keep in
biggest
mind.
fear, was running into a final three like this without it confirmed. I believe as town we made several mistakes getting to this point, but useless to talk about those now. I'll tell you right now, between Joey and Eric, Joey, some things that have irked me are the manners of how you keep bringing up Boone as a critical point in your defense.
I know.
Like
True.
you keep
That's
bringing
the
it
most
up and you keep
unfortunate
trying
thing.
to explain it. And
I know, and that's why I said it's so scummy, but it's true.
yeah, okay. So yesterday, I definitely pushed hard on Captain. I definitely wanted him lynched, and like the deal is, if Captain is with Eric, or at that point, then if Eric convinces one person to not vote, then it's GG. But
There's no
he
way
does
me
end
and
up
Captain
voting.
together,
Like,
right?
you do end up voting, and that's good. It pushes the game forward.
Actually,
Captain is town. That's
Store,
unfortunate.
I want to ask you this: do you think Eric has to be with Ryuzilla if he's Mafia? Because
I think
he didn't
if
hammer.
Captain is town, he makes excellent points about well, actually, did he make? I think he.
Well, he said Captain was saying that you were Mafia and me and Joey are town. That was what Captain was saying.
Yeah, I know, but I thought he also said that he thought there was a connection between Eric and Ryuzilla.
No, that was Mike.
But, okay, well, Mike pointed out that connection. Mike was heavily against Captain.
I can feel I'm going to be very mad at this game.
What, Joey?
No, they just continue.
Okay, well, I don't know. I've talked for a bit. Can someone else talk right
I'll
yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I had a town read on Storzer from the get-go.
Yes.
And
oh, that was because you thought he was the medic.
Well, not just that. I mean, they're just the way he plays. I knew that he was town for sure, or I thought that he was town for sure.
Let's talk about now. Okay,
Well,
you've got two people to talk about.
Yeah, I understand. Joey is playing giddyish. I don't know how that means for his game. I haven't played with him maybe more than once or twice. He's definitely been calling me town a lot, and I don't understand where he's getting that from. He's right, but
well, clearly I might be wrong now.
Well, what the point I'm trying to get at is it could just be a pocket. So I don't know about you. I don't want to lose the store.
All right, so this is what we should do. We should confirm me as town. It will make the game a lot easier for you.
I don't want to lose the store.
I am town. I promise. I
like okay. The thing is like. I would have to go with the read that I would go with 99.9% of the time is that Storzerg is town in this game. That would be my read.
That's really unfortunate for you. Let me tell you this right now.
What's up?
Dude, I'm town, man. This is bullshit.
What the fuck, Joey?
Like, what do you want me to tell you? I've been like, look how if I was Mafia, I would have like a direct like, okay, this is where we should go, town. And I've like flip flopped every single read like twice, and then 3 times on Thursday, man. I've played like pretty fucking terrible. I don't know if I'd say terrible, but maybe subpar. Like usually, like I know every Mafia. Like, I know all the Mafia day 2. This is
Eric,
different.
Can you explain the interaction with Captain at the end of the day?
Yeah.
10 minutes remain.
So when Captain was talking, I sensed genuine frustration that he thought that the game was going to be over. Meaning that perhaps there were 2 Mafia left. I bought it. Like I generally bought it, and then the mod said, "This is the last." And I saw 2 people vote, and I'm like, okay, well, like if I don't vote on this guy, we go to sleep, and Mike dies.
You made it clear before you made some of your comments. Like that's where I'm having.
Well, I understand, but the thing is, like, I really wanted that vote to be rescinded because I really felt like he was town, but I had to vote. Like, it just
like, who would you have pushed on then, Joey? Like,
I'm low hanging fruit, man. It could happen. Sorry.
I don't know what. Yeah, I can't tell. I can't tell if this is Joey Town or like
I am town.
He's just really overcompensating and trying to pretend like he doesn't care what's happening. And
no, I care a lot. I really want to win, and I think we should confirm me as town because I think that's the best play for every one of us. I know it sucks for all of you.
So I base myself as a player who can read Storzer really, really well.
Okay, well, if you're town, you're doing it incorrectly. Let me tell you this. So, I mean, I don't know what I can do to help you, Eric.
I may be 0 for 2 in this last 2 weeks.
Yeah. So, if you're town, Eric, you are 0 for 2. I can tell you that much. And I mean, I don't know what.
And if he's Mafia, he's.
I don't know. I promise you, I'm town this game. I don't know where Store's head's at, but I know this game will become a lot easier for all 3 of us, or rather, the 2 of us that is town. If you
can you stop pushing the RNG stuff? Like it really
No, it's not
is
RNG at all.
No, you're asking us to put faith into you.
Yeah.
On this thing, and if
Let's
you're
fucking
Mafia,
do it.
like it's just auto win. Like it's
not
easy.
auto win at all.
And-
But then automatically, you both know who we all three.
Well, no,
you
if
two
you're
know the
Mafia and Eric votes me or I
You're
vote
right, you
Eric,
could
and you
get
push
fucked if I'm Mafia,
I can't
but I'm
accept
Town.
that, Joey. I can't accept that.
All right, man. If you don't want to do it, that's cool.
No, I don't want to do it.
All right,
like,
man.
Like if it happens that Eric pushes me, formals me, and then you don't vote, and if it happens to go like that, sure.
Shh, don't give away my plan.
Story.
Like, I can't go for that.
Story.
Right,
I want you to convince me that you're Town right now. Like, give me what I usually look for, and I think you know what it is.
I talked about one of my biggest things was my push on Phil. I talked about that like I don't know. I talked about that a lot. Like,
So that's actually kind of what I liked you at the start, Store. We had a lot of the same reads. At the start, you didn't like Bona, but I don't remember. I'm sorry, I don't remember that guy's name. I didn't like him.
Papa?
And then yeah, that guy.
Yeah, I
You
pushed
didn't
on
like
Papa.
Phil. I seconded your formal on Phil, if you don't recall, because I didn't like him either. I liked his defense a lot though, and I did not vote on that.
Eric, did you vote on Phil?
Nope.
Okay, so none of us voted on Phil. That's fine. Okay,
won.
Ryan, first time.
I
You
didn't
voted
vote
Ryan
on
the first
anyone.
time.
I voted on Brian both times.
No, not Brian. Ryan.
Oh,
Ryan. I voted on Ryan both times. Nailed that guy.
I did not vote on Ryan the first time. The second time I voted.
Okay, and your reasoning the first time was you were shocked that the day wasn't, or that the day.
I don't
was
even know
over.
if that's alignment indicative.
From
Well,
Eric,
no.
maybe not. Eric wanted to. Okay, Eric stated that he wanted to push on Joey Captain on that day.
Yes, correct. And if we fast forward back to then, obviously, like I'd say, okay, Storzer, let's vote off Joey right now. But as obviously things change, right?
Don't do that, man.
I mean, like the biggest thing is I was pushing people, and I didn't necessarily have a scum between Joey and Eric, and that just bones me today.
Yeah, same as you.
Storzer, who do you think is Mafia right now?
I just don't know. Like from day one, I've had you pretty much pocketing me, and while it has kind of felt like a pocket in a sense, like you were pretty much the only unconfirmed townie to defend me, to stop the pressure. Nearly every other unconfirmed townie on day 2 pushed on me, and
you would have probably been lynched.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There's a good chance I could have been lynched that day, and that bothers me to a sense.
Does it?
I mean, no, that makes me feel better about you. Sorry. That makes me feel better, but like
5 minutes remaining of the day.
I don't know. We got 5 minutes left.
So I feel a little bit better about you, the fact that you didn't just say that you think that I'm Town. Now, you know me to read you very well, right? I think maybe in the 50 games that we played together, I'm probably 48 out of 50. So,
I mean, I will say that, if you're Mafia, you read me as Town. Generally, you don't generally go against the grain when you're Mafia, and you don't generally go against the grain. When you're Town, and I'm Town, you do have a good chance, do have a good success of reading me as Town. When I've been Mafia, like I can't say that I feel your read on me when I've been Scum has been that great, or not as high as you're saying, okay, but. You definitely are very vocal about getting your readout on me as Town, and vocal about it.
Pretty fast, right?
Yes.
Pretty consistent
Again,
with...
like the big things that bother me about Joey is, I'm Town because Boone said I was Town. That bothers me.
Yo, so Stuart, I know exactly how that makes me look. Like, you think I would do that if I was Mafia?
Yeah.
I've never done it as Mafia.
Ryan was Town.
Yeah,
I've never done it, boys. I res Boone. Boone, tell him.
If Ryan was Mafia, then it makes Joey look really clean. It makes me look really clean.
I'm gonna look so stupid after this game's over.
If Ryan is Town, then it makes Eric look better. It makes me look worse.
Okay, cool story. All right, so right now, I am currently 70-30. I think 70% Eric is Mafia. I think 30% Stort's Mafia. That is my current standing.
Did that change when I said that I think that Storzerg is more town?
No, I mean,
because you said that I was your strongest town the entire
Yeah, you are, but I mean, honestly, like I didn't like you towards the end of the day. I didn't like how you were acting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I respect you enough as a player. You could fool me, so it's possible. But I'm town, so.
You sure this has nothing to do with
what?
With me saying that I would probably go with Storzerg being town. You're sure that has nothing to do with that?
It has nothing to do with that. I cross my heart, hope to die.
All right.
So I don't know.
Joey, do you think there's any chance that Captain and Eric were together?
It's possible, but then why doesn't Eric hammer onto Ryuzilla?
If me and Captain are together, I don't vote there. We go to sleep, and it's game over.
So I think Ryuzilla is really the most important alignment of like the entire game.
Yeah, you're right.
So
it's impossible that me and him are together.
You're right.
I don't know. I think just like to me, so if like Ryuzilla is Mafia, then Eric's probably Mafia, and if Ryuzilla was town, then Store's probably Mafia. Like on that day, I wanted to kill Store then Ryuzilla. And Store was my number one, so that was weird. But then Boone said like she's super town on Store, and I do trust Boone's reads.
Well, I'm going with my read. I think Storzerg's town.
Hey, you
Well,
guys,
if you're gonna stick with that, then you force me to give Store the hammer.
Crossvote right now.
Yeah, if you're gonna be 100% on that, Eric, you really leave me no choice. So
if I'm wrong, I want to go based off of a read.
I'm
that
telling
I've
you,
had
Eric, I'm telling you right now, if you're town, you're wrong. Okay, that's it. It's not even a question.
He's gonna say the same thing. Sure, say the same thing.
I'm gonna say what I have to say. I'm town this game, so
I can't say the same thing because I
haven't been like looking at my play. It's been like it hasn't been any clear alignment. Like I feel
Joey,
that you two have been on the two opposite ends of town.
1 minute remains.
Going between the two because I don't know what the answer to this game is. I am more than willing to admit that I do not know what the answer is. I don't know who the Mafia is. I couldn't even fucking tell you who the Mafia is right now between like all the people that we've lynched. Okay, but I am the town. That's what I know. That's what you guys should know because that will help you decide this game.
Fuck it. Fuck me. Fuck me.
I don't know either.
I formal 10-minute overtime. Can we do that? Do you guys do that?
Make a decision, guys.
I can't do that. I can't do this in 1 minute. Like it's impossible. I can't do a 15-minute day three, a final three. It's impossible.
I will soft cap this as long as formal call on Eric.
Are you?
Wait, what? What did he say?
He said formal Eric.
Oh my god.
Okay,
dude.
so.
Oh.
Okay. So. Store. If you think that Eric's Mafia, I apologize, but I'm still not sold. So I want to do what I proposed earlier.
Nope.
If you think that I'm town, it helps me.
This is game over. This is game over. Sorcerer, I'm telling you, if this goes through, this game is over. Okay? Two people that I pushed on early or pushed on me. One of those two have to be Mafia. Okay? Do you know me to push on people that are Mafia? If I'm Mafia?
Yeah, but like. I don't know. It doesn't really tell me.
Brother, you got this game wrong,
Fuck
dude.
it, resend, push it, fucking.
I didn't even
I hate this shit.
I didn't even second.
Yeah, there's no.
About you stupid.
What do you mean? You don't really need seconds at this point. Like it ends when people vote. Like.
So I don't know what's going on with Store. I don't know if he's looking for the best possible
Eric.
lynch. Now
I am town.
Hey, Eric, if you fooled me all game, like,
now, boys.
Congratulations. If you fooled me all game and pocketed me from day 2.
If you fool me, we're like,
Eric, I'm ready to go on Joey. I'm ready to go on Joey.
Fuck you. I don't care if you're ready to go on me. I'm not losing the game because you're gonna be fooled by someone. So like you guys need to wake up, whichever one has used town. Please convince me you're town, and then let's end the game. Thank you.
I'm ready to end the game, Eric.
No,
I'm
this
ready
is
to
bullshit. I don't know what's going on.
If we lose, we lose. Fuck it.
I'm soft capping it in two. I'm hard capping it in 2 minutes. So I'm giving you guys a little bit over time.
Joey.
And formal me and let me show you that. Then let it go through and then let me.
Formal's on Joey.
Okay, I mean second, obviously, yeah.
So as I said before, you two have been on opposite sides in town. From my perspective, I have been on no side of town. I have flip flopped on every single person. I haven't had one direct like lynch that I've been trying to push the entire game. I am town this game. I've been trying to push town agenda. You can see that I've been trying to figure out the game the entire time. There's not been a single day where I've not been doing my best to figure out who is Mafia. I still don't know who the Mafia is. I'll be completely honest. This game has completely perplexed me. I do not know. But all I do know is that if you do lynch me, you will lose the game. And I don't want to hear this like, oh, if store fooled me, then well, I got fooled. Look, no, I don't want that. I'm not gonna be okay with store
Joey, that's
fooled
what
me.
it is at this point.
No, I don't give a shit because I'm town. If you can't read that, then you're being fooled. You want to be fooled this game? Because I'm not fooling you. I'm town.
Joey, then you need to be pushing this.
I'm town. I haven't been pushing a lynch because I don't know which one of you is Mafia. I don't want to lose the game because of, oh, I don't want to get fooled by Store. Or I don't want to get fooled by Eric. That's not my game. My game is winning the fucking game. So I'm not going to end it right now. You guys aren't going to push this through. I'm not going to die. We're going to continue on.
We don't really have a choice.
I don't care. I don't care. Look how much I don't care.
This is probably one of the hardest decisions I've had to make.
Great. So if it's that hard, then you should know that I'm town. I don't know if that makes sense, but it made sense in my head.
So based on your defense, you're saying because you've been playing with nobody on your side,
I'm saying
you've been flip-flopping on issues that makes you town.
Well, yes, I think it does, in my opinion. Because I haven't been protecting anybody. I haven't been trying to kill anybody. I've been doing what I thought was best every single day when I wake up. Okay,
yeah, staying under the radar. Ryan game.
Okay, Eric, the reason I'm sold on you is
kill people.
Eric, the reason I'm sold on you as town is, you know, your reasons. You pushed 2 people. One of them had to be scum, and the fact that you defended me out of like nobody else that was confirmed at that point. So many people pressured me, and you were insistent that I was town.
I mean, it's really unfortunate. It's my defense. Store. It's really unfortunate if you're town, because if you're town and you strongly believe in Mafia, then you're giving Eric the hammer, which makes me incapable of winning this game for town. I'm pretty disappointed if that's the case. So I still don't know which is
you seem to not know who it is, but you're also sure
right.
that it's
I have no idea.
You keep telling Store.
No, I said I'm at 50-50 now. Yes, I'm telling you, Store is the only one giving a hammer.
You're down to 50-50 now.
You're not giving a hammer. I'm at 50-50 because of how Store quickly flip-flopped from killing you to me. Like, I read that as, like, easiest lynch. Let's go.
So, all right, I'm going to have to end this defense. Rescind or push the vote.
What happens if I rescind?
Nope.
We're going to real quickly see if there's another formal, because I'm going to have to get you guys.
I'm town. Don't lynch me here. You're losing the game. That's it.
Well, it kind of matters. Like, if there's a rescind and there's an option for another formal, like
there's an option for another formal. This is not final formal.
Yes, we're pushing to vote.
Pushing to vote. All right, I need votes on the button here. Okay, or they will not be counted. So I will say it'll be 3, 2, 1, vote. Okay.
Do not vote on me. I'm about to fucking rage quit this game.
1, vote.
Oh my god.
He's lynched. And I believe we need to go ahead and say, Ryan, shall I reveal it?
No, Eric, just fucking tell me, Eric.
Yes.
I'm Mafia.
Mafia MVP.
You dude? Oh my god.
Everyone can wake back up.
But Joey, then why didn't you go with me?
Because I didn't know what the fuck you were doing. Screw you.
Okay.
All right, so real quickly,
play, Eric. Good pocket.
Real quickly, guys, great play. I think it's fitting that it went to LYLO on the first show of this, our first game of this new show, rather.
Who's Mafia?
Mafia team was, I guess I should announce this. I'll announce all the roles. So we had the cop as Pope, as was claimed. Medic was Happa Howley. Vidge was indeed Boomtown, who I have to give the town MVP to Boomtown, even though a bunch of you guys were actually making some really good analysis. She managed to shoot the Mafia David. She got the shot on him. Really good. Eric was obviously the other Mafia, Ryuzilla, other Mafia, rest Vanilla Town.